For some reason, I am suspect. I am sus among us.
Hi, I'm Brother Nature. My sister, Mother Nature,
Hi, Brother Nature. Go away, Brother Nature. I suspect. I'm sus among us. Alright, we seem fine. Let me post to the people. Then we will discuss. What's going on today? I don't see a lobby from Raced or that, so. All right. Hey, gang. So we have some multiplayer games today. I thought about doing part 2 of my crab stream. I was going to do 2 streams this weekend. I was going to do crab campaign. Part 2, and then I was going to do some sort of multiplayer stream today. And then I got sick yesterday, so I didn't get to stream. So I put up a poll on my Discord for what people would want today. Anyway, sorry. Players were typing things. Yeah, so I was going to stream twice. So instead, since we only get 1 stream this weekend, I pinged my Discord about what they wanted to see. And the Tzeentch King of the Hill won. So we have the Tzeentch King of the Hill today. Power has to verify their files. So I guess I need to get Fish in here. That's funny. We've had people sign up today. 2 people didn't respond. 1 person has to verify their game files. So I've moved 5 spots down the list. Ugh, whatever. So Jep picks, sorry. I had typed this to the players before the stream started, but then we had to switch players a couple times. Okay, what are we doing? Hi, I've decided I'm going to be leaving these comments on every video now, unless you're casting domination, because that's just awful. Turn will have to play for both of us if that is to happen. Fair. Michael Hobson, fair. Biggest Defiler fan. Royal Crabguard's my favorite infantry now. It's good infantry. It's good infantry. No magic for Tzeentch would be hilarious. It would be pretty hilarious. So how this is going to work is... Okay, Bird is just typing to me. How's this going to work is players, top of the King of the Hill will pick 1 faction. Just pick a faction, any faction. They ban 3. Their opponent picks any faction that was not banned, right? So we get our 2 factions. Then I roll this dice. I hope this picks up on audio. Let me test 1 second. I just need to switch over where I can see my audio. Yeah, you can kind of hear it. So I roll this dice after the players have already locked in what factions they'll be playing. That means you could pick Ogre Kingdoms, and then I roll a 3, and you get no large units, which means no Ogres, no Mournfang Cav, no Sabertusk, nothing. You'd have Noblars. You'd have just Noblars. Now, if something is literally impossible to play, it is a for fun stream, so we'll play it as we go. Like, if Ogres get no large unit at all, you might be like, well, how can they field a Lord? I would be like, okay, you can have a Lord, and then all Noblars, right? Because all Noblars would be funny. All Noblars is silly. We want to see that. But literally, Ogres would need a Lord. So, for the no infantry, if you have Dwarves, I mean, you could do Gyrocopters and artillery and stuff, but no infantry would mess with Dwarves quite a lot. I don't know about picking Dwarves in a for fun King of the Hill, so maybe don't do that. They're the best faction at the moment, and they don't use large units. They can't take giant monsters. They can barely field 5 single entities. I don't know if they can, actually. They can only field the Lord and 2 heroes. So yeah, dwarves don't fit for a lot of this stuff. No magic doesn't affect them at all, so yeah. Dwarves, probably just don't pick them today, because that's kind of a bad faith thing to do. But if we roll a 6, you get a normal game. It's not everything is troll. All right, I had to type to Jacker Skins. That is a 4th person who is not actually here. So many people signed up and they're not here. Power to verify their game files, that's fine. Butcherbird told me he was not home yet, that's also fine. But for there's other people who signed up and then just stopped responding to messages. So Jacker Skins will hop in. Jepardu, our starting King of the Hill, went Lizardmen, Bantoom Kings, Kislev, and Demons of Chaos. We'll see what Jacker Skins wants to do. And then I'll roll the dice. Woo! Thunderbarge, says Jacker Skins. Fair. Fair. Does every roll separate? No. One roll determined both players for that game. Is just the Tzeentch rules you're both playing by at the same time. Ban Kislev, what is this? Lizardman versus Kislev, I could see him not wanting to play that. I can see it. Jacker Skins is Hovering Vampire Coast. I know without his Precious Dwarves, those weren't banned, I just said that you're probably not a good idea. He plays Chaos Dwarves and Vampire Coast. Playing the Vampire Coast. All right, rolling the dice. That is a 4. What is a 4? Rolled 4. What is a 4? No magic. No magic whatsoever. Otherwise a normal game, but you cannot cast a single spell. Jepardu just asked me a good question. He said, do bound spells count as magic? I said, in spirit, no, not really. We're just talking about true casters. I mean, like, a Quaddle's 1 or 2 little spells isn't a big deal. Clearly, the point of it is just like, hey, for once, let's pretend there's no mages, because mages are crucial in multiplayer. See what matchups might be different if you don't have a dedicated mage. No Heal Coast is doable. No Heal Coast is doable. I don't know about no magic whatsoever Coast. $200 units of Skaven slaves. Yeah, Michael, that would actually fry any GPU. Fry them. Smoke them. Will we see Araness Assault Spite or Luther Harkon, since you can't cast any spells? So no magic equals some magic. Bound spells don't use the winds of magic. Bound spells are just bound. Anyone sign up for these tournaments? This isn't really a tournament, it's just a fun event. It is on our Discord. I'm gonna use my Discord as a blocker. Bam. Look at that. What's the order of players? Race, you were at the top, brother. Okay. So yeah, I've just had people sign up in this chat, Tzeentch King of the Hill, halfway down our Discord page. All right. Yeah, you would just sign up here. Just be like, I want to play. And then I'd throw you in this order of names, and we get to you when we get to you. Though, like I said, we skipped over a lot of people because for most of the people that signed up, they weren't freaking here. 2 of them told me about it. Can people sign up mid-tourney? Of course. So yeah, you're just done there. Hop in. It's chill. It's a vibe. Lizardmen are almost done. Vampire Coast, almost done. Lizardmen are at like 1,000 gold. Lizardmen rocking a 0 gold spend. He's ignoring me. What did I do? Phoenix King. Look how he keeps ignoring me. My ideas are too scary. Make 6 a random gen army. Oh, okay. I could, but I already made the graphic and posted all the rules and everything. Ugh. It's too many changes. There's too many changes for Tzeentch. Because Tzeentch is the stabler of ways. He makes sure everything is stable and nice and calm. Lizardmen army looks like it's been the same for a bit, so they're probably ready to go. What up, Sunset? Sunset hosting a tournament in like an hour or 2. I try not to host at the same time as you guys, but then Tactical Lich for some reason wants to host every Wednesday, which is my day off of work in the middle of the week where I go to stream. So I'm gonna have to start overriding him soon. And then Big JP claims Saturday, where I sometimes cast those tournaments for him, but y'all cast in on Saturdays where I was sick, so fair. And then Sundays, I see Tequila Sunset's hosting this Sunday faction war every week, and it's like, all right, bruh, I gotta cast sometime. You can't just keep taking all days. Make a new list for every role. Bold. Bold! As we are loading into the game. Luther Hakon versus Golrock. Golrock. I don't know what not taking a caster has to do with bringing you here, but sure. Sure, Golrock. How big is JP? Like, really? I think he's 9 feet 3 inches. So he's pretty big. He's a big guy. Can you play from Europe or will servers self-destruct? Most of our players are from Europe. Yeah. Yeah, most of them. I'd say greater than 51%. So you'd be fine. For the builds. The Lizardmen brought 2 Bastilon Arcs of Sotek, then Saurus Warrior frontline backed up by Skink cohorts and Red Crested Skinks. Then we have some Cold One Riders on the flanks. I think I saw a Feral Cold One in there. Yeah, some Feral Cold Ones. 1H Salamander, some Skink Skirmishers. And that is it. We have Golrock, the defender of Itza Pizza himself, with Rock of Itza and Stand Your Ground for his AoE spells, then Dazed on his Mace of Ulmok. Now set for the Vampire Coast. No caster. We have triple Morngul, Shade Wraith Gunners, double Carronade, 2 Handgunners, 3 Bomber Mobs, then a front line of zombies, 2 Depth Guard with polearms, and then Foot Luther Harkon running around being spooky. I wonder if he'll duel Golrock. I mean, Golrock would probably win that, but I mean, Luther's melee stats aren't bad. Maybe he can stand up for himself. He could silence Golrock, make sure he can't pop any of his spells. And he gets rid of his physical resistance. Okay, Luther's OP. Luther, direct counter to Golrock. GG, game over. Lizard threatens old schizophrenic with a large stick. Now we go to our reporter hummus for live coverage. Man, Michael Hobson, you're really sticking with the bit. that I am a newscaster, which is of course not true. Game starts off, Bastildons and their Saurus compatriots under cannon fire. Shields up, lads. That'll definitely save you from a cannonball. Yep. The Arks of Sotek having a bad time. Now this is Conquest. The Lizardmen could easily take the point and then push up and hope that the game descends into a long grind. So much so that 10 minutes on the point would get them the win. No Pizza Pizza delivery. Domino's weeps. Wouldn't Domino's be happy that Pizza Pizza doesn't deliver? Because if Pizza Pizza delivered, Domino's is cooked. Luther's just hobbling around. Look at his run animation. What a goon. What a goober. Running through the sands. Cannons for now, still just shooting at the Arks of Sotek and the Ancient Salamander, doing what they can. Ah, there's cold ones on the side. That's what Luther was running towards. The Morngulls are going to block off the edge of the map. This is Conquest, so we don't really use attacking rules or anything like that. Golden Riders might be running straight into Morngulls. There they go. With Depth Guard polearms coming nearby, this is actually going to be a tragically bad situation for the Lizardmen Riders. Looks like they try and pull away now. Feral Cold One's not rampaged yet. Golden Riders can't be rampaged. They should get to safety. Meanwhile, elsewhere, how are we doing? The Ark of Sotek is about to rout. The other one has just reached the front line and might pop their little snake soon. And more Cold Ones coming up on the flanks. Here, there are no Morngulls completely blocking them off. This Lizardman fight up there seems to still be occurring. Bomber mobs trying to take out the Red Crested Skinks. And Skink cohorts taking a lot of damage. Saurus warriors, however, made of sterner stuff, get into the front line, and then even bombers. I mean, bombers still do okay damage to them, but not as much as the Skinks. Lizardman rush is on. Gorok is in the middle. And Luther Harkon is nowhere nearby to duel the might of Itza. Handgun mobs trying to fight back against these Golden Riders and Feral Cold Ones. One of the Golden Riders is terror routing dangerously close to the white line, but I think they'll rally before then. So they should be fine as the Morgulls are still closing in. Cannons firing while they can, routing off the Ancient Salamander, which hasn't gotten a shot off. Elsewhere, some of the handgun mobs are starting to die. The front line of Lizardmen is easily winning against the Vampire Coast. Not shocking there. Don't know why that giant Unicard wouldn't go away. Oh, poor zombies. They are double poisoned. They're poisoned by the Ark of Sotek and then regular poison. Grok is here just to annoy the Shade Wraith Gunners a little bit. Luther is off in the distance, still refusing us the Duel of Legend, but Jackerskins and the Vampire Coast are up by damage value quite a lot. That's always going to happen with shooting factions. We just have to see how the melee grind goes for them, because, I mean, look at this. You have Velociraptors upsetting 2 Carronades. So then those Carronades die. That's 1,500 gold value off the map pretty quickly as far as melees go. So Lizardmen could be fine. Those Morngulls are now tearing into Saurus warriors. The brave Saurus. And Jet Bardu was actually featured in yesterday's replay playing the Lizardmen. With his Krokgar and his Saurus that could retreat in every direction. One of the Carronades is crumbling, and with no winds of magic to heal them or anything like that, it should just crumble away into nothingness. The other one is at half HP. We have some Depth Guard running to intercept the Feral Cold Ones. The Feral Cold Ones might just suicide, take out these cannons once and for all, and save the Arks of Sotek. Because then once you force the Vampire Coast, especially this Vampire Coast build, to just grind you out in melee, the Arks of Sotek and the Saurus could legitimately carry this game, as Jet Bardu has closed a bit of the damage value gap for a bit. Golden Riders still almost killing off the Shade Wraith Gunners. The Morngulls are right behind them. And Luther is nearby. It looks like he's coming in for the duel. Can't get pistol shots on Gorok before getting into melee. And holy crap, Gorok is huge compared to Luther. Wait, where did Luther go? There he is. Look at him. Look at how big Gorok is. Gorok's a muscular lad as he fights Luther. One of the Carronades is going to be officially down. The other one still up and firing. The Feral Cold One charge was not enough. Take it out. Bounce power is getting closer to the middle as Jet Bardu keeps closing the distance. Now it's only a 600 lead. Luther's just standing there shooting. Gorok charges in, and Luther is now double poisoned. The Duel of Fates is on, but Luther's losing that duel quite badly. He's down to 2,400 HP. Gorok still has full. Still a lot of Morngulls surrounding the area. What else is going on? We have 2 full health Depth Guard with polearms, but they're not near enough to the fight yet. They're trying to come back. It looks like they're busy chasing something off, probably these Feral Cold Ones or whatever, to save the Carronade, which the Carronade's now once again under attack by various Cold One varieties. Luther still having a bad time. Might want to retreat now. Looks like, yeah, he's running for the hills. Did not bring the hunger, so he has no form of healing. Not even getting into melee with like cheap stuff can save him, but still has his pistol. Can still fire every so often. Can the depth guard clutch it out? And the Lizardmen did not actually capture the point before getting into melee, so it is all about the damage. Who's going to win? Not as much about the capture point. Pyrotech Hand Mob once again double poisoned, as this Ark of Sotek is about to leave. Down to less than 700 HP, very, very low. Luther is trying to fire his pistol over a hill, which is tragic. It's tragic. Grok continues to fight next to an Ark of Sotek. The Lizardmen have passed the Vampire Coast on the damage value for the first time all game, but it's not over yet. We still have 2 Depth Guard that are slowly healing as they grind with their hunger. Morgul's also healing with their hunger as well. So now the Lizardmen, very rare that they get out-healed by other factions, but yes, healing is on the side of the Vampire Coast for this matchup. Still have a healthy Gorok, still have a decently healthy Ark of Sotek, and some Saurus to do the grinding, though I'm getting a little concerned as their Skink Skirmishers get caught by Luther and the Morghuls. Those Depth Guard are a real problem. I'm actually super concerned about how much Lizardmen can clear them out. As Gorok separates himself from the fight, wonder where he's exactly going at this moment, but no one knows, as the Depth Guard are going to now surround the Bastildon. The Saurus Warriors actually might retreat too, as they go to fight Morghuls who hop on top of them. I'm increasingly scared for the Lizards. Still have some Skink Skirmishers. Still have a bit of ammunition they can use on these Morghuls off in the distance. The Ark of Sotek can clear out a decent amount of Depth Guard if it is cycled well and doesn't just sit in them. Gorok's going for the Lord Snipe, knocks Luther over, gets a good club on his back. As Bastildon's ominously coming downhill, javelins start hitting him in the back of the head. Gorok gets another hit onto Luther, who is super low. He might start crumbling. Gorok's just lurking around like a shark, gets another hit off onto Luther. Gorok does not miss, and the King of the Vampire Coast is down. Without him, that means this Morgul and this Bomber have no chance of recovering. In fact, that Morgul in the distance is going to start crumbling too. Should make it even easier to get rid of those guys. Still, there are 2 Depth Guard. Still, those Depth Guard are very, very scary. Still, Gorok is at like full HP. Gorok does not care at all. Mace of Ulamok popped. 40 more melee attack, 50% more damage, and he's dazing these Depth Guard. I would not be surprised if the Bastildon wants to charge back in as soon as its recharge is up. Morgul's dying. Can the 2 Depth Guard grind it? Now, Gorok is a lot of balance of power, considering the units that are left, considering how many things are dead. Gorok is a lot of balance of power, and I don't know how he'll do against the Depth Guard in the long run. He's starting to get worn down, and they do have healing. And then after that, I mean, you have Skink Skirmishers, which the Depth Guard can kill pretty easily once they're out of ammo. You have the Ark of Sotek, which the Depth Guard can deal with in between its bursts of little snakes. And Gorok is just left on his own. 84 melee defense, keeping him pretty safe. He's up above 4,000 HP still, has been for quite a while. And more Saurus are back as the Depth Guard charge down. No one has taken the capture point. There goes the Bastildon once again. Is it going to pop snakes? It's been quite a while since this popped snakes, so it's probably off cooldown. So Depth Guard. Healing cap in sight, but still a long ways off. No sneaky snakes yet. Gorok's trying to hold it together over here. Helping Skink Skirmishers stay in the fight as all these Skinks pile in. The Depth Guard are getting wrecked. Jackerskins is going to withdraw, leaving the Lizardmen. You know what? The Wizardmen victorious. Good job, Wizardmen. Hey, Curio. I am an olds caster. Gorok actually got some decent value for the first time in his entire life. Love to see that. Saurus Warriors did pretty well overall. Skink Skirmishers did great. Feral Cold Ones did fine. Golden Riders struggled a bit. Arks of Sotek did okay. And the Ancient Salamander got killed before it ever entered the fight. You know, side Luther Harkon with only 210 value. Pretty rough stuff. Depth Guard did fine. Main backbone of the Vampire Coast here. Bombers did alright. Handgunners had a tough time. Shadewraith Gunners did fine. Morghuls did okay. And then the Carronades both did well. G's. Get the blocker back up. Let's get our next contestant in here. Okay, where's that list? So then, let's see if erased is around. Nah, Bird's here. Bird's here. Bird's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We got Bird. Jep. What faction? Or same? I don't give a fuck. Map is Pillar of Bone. All right, once Bird picks a faction, we'll roll this die. We're gonna roll it. We're gonna roll this die. So sorry our viewers had to see that. A lizard viciously beat up an old man, then proceeded to run around scaring his friends. Such a tragedy. All right, we got Nurgle and Lizardmen rolling the die. That is a 1. 1. No single entity monsters, SEMs as our tournament players call them. That there are things that are classified as an SEM. So Carnosaurs are SEMs, Dreadsaurians are SEMs, Slans are SEMs, fun enough. So Lizardmen cannot pick a Slan. Kugath Plaguefather is an SEM. Basically anything that is giant and monstrous is a single entity monster. Now, would Tamarkan be a single entity monster? No, he's just a large unit. So SEMs are a little tricky to just verbally describe. It's a little bit of you know it when you see it kind of thing. But on our tournament pages, each faction does have little indicators that says what is not and is an SEM. I think they're considered rare single entities in the Total War unit caps. So if you turn those on, you'll see what it is. So we'll see what both players come up with. Lizardmen without their giant dinosaurs. Nurgle without Kugath. Soul Grinders. Anything like that. Does no infantry include monster symmetry? It does not. Monster symmetry are different. Tamarkan on a frog? On a frog, yes. On Bubados, no. No Lizardmen SEMs. It's gonna be brutal. Nurgle, it's more annoying than it is brutal. Like, no giants, no unclean ones, no Kugath, but still, all of their infantry is available, which their infantry are pretty decent. Their cavalry is available, which people love. Rot Knights. Their skirmish cap is still available. Their monstrous infantry is still available. Yeah, so really, I think the only things Nurgle would actually miss out on from their meta matchups would be Kugath and a Soul Grinder. No one really uses Bilious Thunderguff, the giant. No one really uses a regular unclean one. Yeah. More importantly, without Nakai. True. Nakai is the big spooker. But the players can use magic again. You're picturing Tamarkan riding a plague toad? I'm down. I think that'd be hilarious. Give him the animations of the Squig Riders. Night Goblin Squig Hoppers. Give him those animations. So he's like jerking around, like waving his arms as this plague toad hops. I'm down. Have you rolled yet? Yes, it is 1. No giant monsters. Whenever you hear this sound, bam, that's me rolling the dice. That would have been 3. No large units at all, which would have been very different. Pure infantry grind fest, which actually you think Nurgle would like, but without Kugath, they're a lot less down for a blob fight. I suppose they could still have Festus. Festus just AoE draining people in a pile of Chosen. Let's do it. We have a red-crested skink chief. No monsters. We have the Temple Guard ROR to protect him. On the other side, like I said, Nurgle still has access to a lot of stuff they generally like. They still have the Rot Knights. Looks like they took 3 of them, and the Chaos Sorcerer Lord is quite good. They do have a Chariot, because another thing is that it's not just your build that gets affected, it's also what you're worried about. So without having to deal with a Dread Saurian blob, potentially, or Slans or something like that, Bird did grab a Chariot. Looks like he's much more focused about taking out infantry. Human Boy is rigging it based on his own preferences. That could be true. That could be. Hey, Dagroth. All right. For the Lizardmen, we still have some Cold One Spear Riders, 4 of them, very strong unit. Then we have the Clawstone Hunter Riperdactyl Rider ROR, 3 Skink Skirmishers. Then we have the Star Chamber Guardians, Temple Guard ROR. They are unbreakable and provide Guardian when they are near the your Lord, not the enemy Lord. Court of Sotek and other red-crested skinks for a front line. And then we do have the red-crested Skink Chief and a Skink Priest of Beasts with Flock of Doom. Did he bring Rancid Visitations? No. Okay, so this game isn't instantly over. 2 Rancid Visitations would straight up kill the skink. So, without Rancid Visitations, Bird doesn't have a guaranteed Lord Snipe. Means he will have to get to that skink through the Temple Guard ROR, which could be rather difficult. On the other side for Nurgle, Frolickers Bubonic and Nurglings for a front line with some Marauders, 1 Chaos Chariot Nurgle, triple Rot Knight, including the ROR, 2 Chaos Fears of Nurgle, and we do have a Blight Boil and Fleshy Abundance Chaos Sorcerer Lord. For the Lizardmen, the biggest difference in this army is your Lord choices. All Slans are considered giant monsters, so they would not be allowed. And Slans, Mazdamundi, or regular Slans are very popular in a lot of matchups, so not having them was a big crushing change to Lizardman roster. So, looks like he went with the super cheap Red Crested Skink Chief. As Red Crested Skinks get run over by the Chaos Chariots, a quarter of their HP gone on the charge. The Chariots don't want to stay for long. They are going to try and get a rear charge out on these Red Crested Skinks, who are getting flung into the Nurglings. Decent damage on that charge as well, and the Chariot will get to safety. Rot Knights opt into the frontline fight, but now they're going to opt out as the Cold and Spear Riders countercharge, and you're standing on top of armor-piercing red-crested skinks. It's not a fight you generally want to take in the long term. Big old infantry engagement on the far side. Cold and Spear Riders not getting to use their anti-large. They want out. As we're seeing a bit of patty cake going on, where both sides want their heavy anti-large armor-piercing cav to get the good engagements, and then both trying to opt out whenever things aren't going their way. Here we have an attempted trap by the Lizardmen. Clawstone Hunters popping their buff, while Cold and Spear Riders and Red Crested Skinks are all around these Rot Knights, and they are taking good damage, though Nurglings are still eating a lot of the damage, so if those Nurglings could hurry up and Demonic Instability Crumble, I'm sure the Lizardmen would be very happy. Another great engagement is the Star Chamber Guardians and Cold and Spear Riders are teaming up on the Rot Knights, surrounded by all these lizards. Look at these poor Rot Knights just getting poked down. Star Chamber Guardians coming up the back, flooding into the area, make sure the Rot Knights can't pull away, even if they wanted to. That is going to be a really good engagement. Nurglings are dying, so that top side is going amazingly for Lizardmen. The center is a bit of a disaster. The lizards are in full retreat. And this bottom area is mixed. Red Crest Skink ROR fighting back against the Frolickers and Marauders is going okay. Skink Skirmishers trying to run away from those Furies. Chaos Chariots of Nurgle. Half health, still 4/4 models, doing good. 1 Rot Knight is dead, though. Don't know if they'll even come back in this battle. Looks like enough of their models escaped. They'll probably rally, given enough time. And a second Rot Knight joined this fight. I'm surprised this fight went so poorly for the Lizardmen overall. That Nurgling died and still they didn't get much damage out, so pretty sad there. Pretty sad for those guys. Skink skirmishers are rejoining the battle. There, the Rot Knights are starting to take some damage. How are we doing elsewhere? Nurgle controls the point. Nurgle controls the bot side. Looks like the Skink skirmishers were not up to the task of killing those Chaos Furies just yet. Some Lizardmen are rallying here and there, trying to get some decent charges where they can. Control the battlefield a little more. Clostodon Hunters Toad Rage briefly. Looks like these Rot Knights got a Fleshy Abundance, because there's no way they're heal capping this early off of just regeneration, so that's why they weren't taking too much damage, as they got spells while I wasn't looking. Gotcha. Star Chamber Guardians busy beating up random Marauders. This is a very mismatched fight, but it'll take them a while to get through those guys. Only 33 melee attack versus Nurgle. Star Chamber Guardians better at holding than they are at murdering. That Rot Knight did end up shattering, so it won't be able to regenerate and come back later. More Nurglings are demonic instability crumbling, and a big pick in the back. The Rot Knights that already received the heal taking some damage from the Cold and Spear Riders. The Cold and Spear Riders are not up to the task of actually finishing the job, and the Rot Knights will persevere and stay on the map for the Lizardmen. Lizardmen rallying some other stuff in the center. Trying to get back in it as Chaos Chariots. Pretty diminished on HP and models, down to 3 out of 4, so not quite able to kill these Skink Skirmishers. And with the Clostodon Hunters, they should be able to bail out those Skinks and get a little bit more firepower back onto the map. In the Code of Sotek, I've almost run out of gas, dying to Marauders and Nurglings on the far side. For Lizardmen, even on the balance of power. Red Crested Skink Chief just vibing. He does have very, very good stats for how cheap he is. Warrior's Crest gives him a whole bunch of melee attack and melee defense. You can see he's at 79, 69 when his buffs are popped, making him a decent little melee combatant, especially if he's near the Star Chamber Guardians. He'll be rather tanky. The only thing I was worried about is Rancid Visitations, and since we don't see that spell taken, he is going to be very hard to kill in melee for sure. Rot Knight ROR and the Chaos Lord still very healthy. Everything else for Nurgle is pretty darn attritioned out. Still a little bit of juice in it, but not a ton. For the Lizardmen, though, similar story. They're not feeling great. We still have some Skink Skirmishers with a lot of ammo and decent HP. It is going to come down to mostly the Star Chamber Guardians and the 2 heroes, most likely holding on the point and daring the Rotting Riders to cycle charge them to death. Rotting Riders almost heal capped as they turn and fight some Red Crested Skinks who are going to terror out, leaving just the Skink Lord and the Beast Caster to poke at the Rotting Riders as they retreat, still taking a little bit of damage. And Chaos Furies dive down on the Clostodon Hunters, who do pop Toad Rage just for a little last stand, but Furies should be able to finish them off. Though now that they're surrounded by Dart Skinks and Cold and Spear Riders charge in, this might be actually a little more difficult. They might Demonic Instability crumble, who knows? And the Temple Guard, Star Chamber Guardians, still chasing and annoying the Rotting Riders who are forced to retreat. Still, Nurgle has the point, though. The Lizardmen trying to chase after the Rotting Riders is proving rather difficult. They might want to go just take the point for now and force the enemy to come to you. Court of Sotek just about to die. 1 HP on one model. And there we go. Marauders and Nurgle prevailed, but only barely. Balance power is shifted pretty heavily against the Lizardmen for now. I'm a little more suspicious, though I suppose if you do blob up on the point, there is a Blight Boil cast. And Blight Boil, as you all know, is an overpowered spell. No hope of victory if your opponent uses that. Little Skinks firing where they can. Rotting Riders still regenerating a little bit, though that heal cap is getting dangerously close. Bounce powers against the Lizardmen, though they are currently up on damage value by just a teensy tiny little bit. Frolickers Bubonic close to dying. If the Red Crested Skink Chief can take them out, that'd be huge. And Star Chamber Guardians get left behind briefly. Other Rot Knights charge into them, take a lot of damage on their way out. So the Star Chamber Guardians fine with that overall, though still taking damage is rough. Rotting Riders, however, charge through all the wounded Skinks, providing their terror, getting rid of a lot of these supporting forces, while the rest of the Skink Skirmishers that can fire are just shooting at them as they run away a little bit. Flock of Doom caster going to cast any Flock of Dooms he can before getting sniped out by this Chaos Lord. The Star Chamber Guardians marching ever forward. Still, Nurgle is not giving up the point. 300 out of 500 or 600? I think it's 600 victory tickets, yeah. Another Flock of Doom out onto the Rotting Riders. Again, more damage. They're below half HP, just barely, and the Red Crested Skink Chief is out here. But in comes the Blight Boil. Blight Boil does do friendly fire damage, so I'm curious how much the Frolickers will take. Star Chamber Guardians are trying to dodge. They're not able to dodge. All sides taking a lot of damage there, but it is obviously much more important for the Star Chamber Guardians, who are the most elite unit there by far. More Rot Knights charging back in. Star Chamber Guardians down to 6 leadership, and the Red Crested Skink Lord did abandon them, so they're not unbreakable. Now they are. Just got unbreakable as the Red Crested Skink comes back to them. Everybody's thinking about routing near the Star Chamber Guardians. Frolickers Bubonic really close to Demonic Instability crumbling. A Flock of Doom should finish them off. There they go. I am concerned, man. Star Chamber Guardians down to 26 models. Still have a flock of Doomcaster. Red Crest King Chief still running after the Rotting Riders. And the army losses is going to take them out. Only the Star Chamber Guardians remain because they're unbreakable. But Jepadu will surrender after that point. Yo, Cyrus. Carl, fireballs kill people. Llamas with hats. I remember that. That was early internet. Skinks did okay. Red Crest Skinks did fine. Star Chamber Guardians did alright, honestly. Skink Skirmishers did fine as well. Coldwind Spear Riders did well. And Colossus Hydras did well. So, overall, good, close game. A lot of healing from Nurgle, so your value is going to be a little inflated. For Nurgle, the Nurglings didn't do great. Marauders seemed to do a bit better. Chariot did fine. Rot Knights and Rotting Riders did pretty well. Furies did pretty well. The GG. We're back. Let's get that blocker up. Let's get raced in here. Map is... Okay. We got raced here. Bird's still chilling. And I need to find the list again. Here, Grace is home. Don't know what that's about. Would a magicless Slann just be a skink? I mean, he'd be huge. It's like saying Garland the Paunch is a goblin, but I guess, maybe. Sure. Another victory because of the Blight Boil. Yeah. Yeah. I'm the host? I didn't know you could even make the spectator the host. What the hell? Alright, Bird's going with Vampire Counts. Banning Cathay, Chaos, and Empire. Vampire Counts with no magic is a bold one, so let's see if we get a 4. We're waiting to see what Raced picks. Ooh, no infantry could also be really bad. No large units at all. Okay. Okay. Banned the faction I wanted. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Raced is mad. We have drama. Turin was streaming recently, and he got like 5K viewers when he was streaming Warcraft 3. He got 3K viewers when he was streaming Domination. Are we just bad? No, I think it's because he's been streaming a ton recently. So then he's higher up in the algorithm and whatnot. I do need to get back into streaming more. It's been difficult. I had a period where in early March, I had like my birthday and shit, and then made a bunch of videos, and then I got sick. So now we're trying to get back into streaming more. Demons of Chaos versus Vampire Counts. Oh. There we go. We got a 3. No large units at all. Infantry fight! Burgess is oh fuck me. Yeah, corpse carts are large. Mortis engine is large. All right, only small units. No monsters, no cav, nothing. Just footsies, little footsies. Vlad the dad time. Yeah. Yeah. Gold chevron zombies. I mean, so let's see. Vampire counts can bring all their infantry, obviously. They can bring bats, dogs, all their heroes on foot, and then all their lords on foot. Okay. Okay. For Raced, he can bring most of his lords on foot, though some of his lords are gigantic monsters. He can bring pink and blue horrors for ranged. He can bring all of his infantry. He can bring Chaos Furies are infantry sized. But that's it. Chaos Furies, infantry, pink and blue horrors, and lords and heroes. Are Changebringers large? Yeah. Bloodletters will have a great day. Demons of Chaos do have a lot of good melee infantry. It's true. It's true. Direwolf Doomstack. Doomstack of the Direwolves. So roll a 3. No large units at all. Vampire counts are ready. Demons of Chaos still thinking. Exalted Bloodletters. These players are taking turns just readying up. Bird's checking something. He flipped over the Demons of Chaos briefly. This will be a good time for ghouls. I did say ghouls suck. Said ghouls are terrible, so it's time for me to be proven wrong. Let's see if the lobby works. Sometimes when you're a spectator and you get made the host, it bugs out, and that's really depressing. Nope, we're loading in. Let's do this. All infantry all day. Vlad von Karstein, a double White King versus a Herald of Khorne and an Alluress. And we're getting 5 pink horrors, 1 blue horror, so a lot of ranged, covered by Plague Bearers and Regiments of Renown. RR Demonettes, RR Bloodletters, RR Nurglings. Local Hellspawn Demons harass dead bodies. More at 11. More at 11. Attack Speed Enjoyer is here. Attack Speed Enjoyer is a bully. He is a meanie. I don't like him. Get him out of here. Last time we played, he told me I was stupid. Pizzo, are we getting slicing shards? Maybe, dude. Maybe, brother. Surely this is demon favored. I wouldn't doubt the vampire counts. They're crafty. They're tricksy, even. Let's see what we got for, like, spells. So the Alluress brought Acquiescence and Lash of Slanesh to give extra melee attack and leadership. Okay, so she's going to spam those as much as possible. Herald of Khorne has Revel and Slaughter, and Banner of Hellfire for like a Mortis Engine Drain effect, and then his Revel and Slaughter's melee attack and leadership. For the front line, we have Plague Bearers, 3 of them to hold forever and slap pretty cost effectively versus anything the undead can bring for infantry. Hellforged Host and the Exalted Demonette ROR brings Beguilement should do a lot of murder very quickly. And the Frolickers, Bubonic, wherever they ended up, there they are. Still pretty tanky. Nurglings in general are not tanky. I think they suck, but the Frolickers specifically with their Blisterback are worth it. So I think Nurglings are bad, but the Frolickers are actually pretty good. Melee damage reflection, plus leadership, and heal per second when in melee. Then to back them up, we have 4 regular pink horrors, 1 ROR, the Sour Guts, and then we have the ROR blue horrors, the Chromatic Abominations as well. On the other side for the vampire counts, we have Vlad, double White King. 1 White King has Scab Scrap, the other one is just a White King. Vlad himself has a Zombie Summon and Wind of Death, plus his heal, Blood Drinker, and the Hunger, so lots of healing for him. Zombies in the front line, backed up by Graveguard, 5 Graveguard, 1 of which is the Sternsman. And then we do have Dogs, Feasters in the Dust, Crypt Ghoul, ROR, more Crypt Ghouls on the flanks. We do have 3 dogs total. 1 is the Dire Pack. What up, Scott MC? You've been killing it in your vids lately, man? Thanks, brother. We've been trying. I haven't been able to live stream as much, and I'm hoping to remedy that, but the videos have been doing pretty well. Just been busy IRL. We're off to the races, off to the long march. Feasters in the Dusk hidden, dogs creeping around. The Dire Wolves, their anti-large is going to be wasted, unfortunately. Unfortunately. Vlad and double White King gonna go take the point. 7 seconds till it unlocks as these Crypt Ghouls and dogs try and set up a flank. Demons of Chaos have the agency. They have archers, quote unquote. They have 6 of them. Vampire counts have to just waddle into melee. So if the demons want to fire upon you, they can. Love your lore videos. Thank you, Derek. Try my best. We try our best. Prepare your graphics cards because Tzeentch is a firing. Direwolf's trying to harass the backline. Raced is keeping the Bringers of Beguilement in the backline to deal with that. But what is this? The Hellforged Host taking on Vlad and the White Kings. In comes a Wind of Death. Does Race see it coming? Hellforged Host, big damage onto them. The Overcast hurt them as well. There we go. Overcast hurt them as well as the actual Wind of Death cast, and now Master of Beguilement lowering their melee attack by 40, but they still have 19 and a bonus versus infantry. Vlad is in a lot of trouble, so are his White Kings. In comes a Scab Scrath from the White Kings, still trying to get rid of the Hellforged Host, but the Hellforged Host just keep on cooking. Oh, they are eating up these single entities right now. Vlad does need to maybe back off. He's relying on the Hunger and Blood Drinker to heal him. He did not bring Invocation Heck. No, he did. He brought Invocation Heck, so he might have an overcasted one for his team there. Something is getting cast here, not sure what it is. Banner of Hellfire is draining everybody down a little bit, I suppose. Hellforged Hosts are almost dead. Meanwhile, what's going on in the back line? Sorry, that was a lot happening. Had to focus on it. One of the dogs gets taken up by the Bringers of Beguilement. Feasters in the Dusk and other Crypt Ghouls trying to get into the fight, but Direwolves a little too pathetic to take out the Pink Horrors. The hybrid melee demonic combatants versus one of the worst dogs in the game. I ranked on my power list, and I feel good about that, considering how this just went. The Allure-S and the Herald of Khorne not taking no for an answer. They're going to take a 3v2 against Vlad and the White Kings without any infantry support. I disagree with this strongly. As we can see, Vlad and the White Kings currently bodying the Herald of Khorne. Lash of Slaanesh is down, giving a little more melee attack to everybody. Demons are up a little bit on the balance of power, up a little bit on damage value, but we'll see how long that lasts, especially if Vlad and the boys can snipe out the Herald of Khorne, which is looking increasingly likely. Though the Allure-S is currently going to town on this random White King, though I think the Vampire Counts would take a White King for a Herald of Khorne trade any day of the week. Elsewhere, Bringers of Beguilement still wrecking any infantry that gets onto the backline. Some Crypt Ghouls got to Pink Horrors. Other ones are struggling a bit. Herald of Khorne does escape to safety. Meanwhile, one of the White Kings is dead, and the Allure-S is left in a now 3v1 briefly, though that White King is going to die, so who cares? They'll eventually get there. Damage value still about 1,000 in the Demon's favor, as the Sternsmen are getting wrecked by the Bringers of Beguilement. Feasters in the Dust getting kited out pretty well by the Pink Horrors. And Crypt Ghouls are still pretty bad. I don't like them. I think they are terrible and garbage. Hellforged Host are so based. They are quite based. Even after taking an overcasted Wind of Death, they are still cleaving through this front line. As Vlad and the White King once again catch the Allures. Plague Bearers of Nurgle finally showing their worth. They're weak to a lot of things, but melee fights are not one of them. Graveguard and Crypt Ghouls still trying to run down these extra pink horrors, get rid of them. Still, the damage value is only about 1,000 in the lead for the Demons of Chaos. Hellforged Host are almost dead. Maybe these zombies and Graveguard can get it done, but it's taking them an awfully long time to do so. The Plague Bearers just lumbering past the pink horrors. And yeah, the vampire counts are gonna leave. They don't want to fight those guys. Not like this. Plague Bearers and Graveguard trading about even. Luress offered a spell. She ran by. Hellforged Host still haven't demonic instability crumbled just yet. Vampire counts falling further behind on both the damage value and the balance of power. As the Frolickers, Bubonic, Sour Guts, all those guys just fight back. The hybrid nature of the ranged for the Demons of Chaos is very difficult, especially since the Dire Wolves just lose the pink horrors outright. Pretty brutal. Vlad and the White King continue to fight, continue to be annoying as more Crypt Ghouls come through, trying to take out those ranged units as best they can. The Hellforged Host down to 500 HP, down to 17 models, and yet they retreat from no man. Continuing to battle the Graveguard until their last breath. They might not demonic instability crumble until they literally die. Vlad and the White King still around. Vlad still has summons, he still has Wind of Death, he still has healing, so we'll see what they're able to do there. And the vampire counts do have the victory location. Hellforged Host finally demonic instability crumble. They are gone. Herald of Khorne is quite low. Crypt Ghouls get hit with a whole bunch of pink horror fire, and that is a lot of damage onto them. Meanwhile, the Bringers of Beguilement down to, wow, minus 40 melee attack, and they're still up in the 30s, 40s range. Jesus. Okay, Sternsman and other Graveguard trying to get damage on them. Once again, the Herald of Khorne opts into a battle with Vlad the Dad, Vlad the Chad, and the White King is getting good hits on him. Vlad, you need to swing one more time to kill that Herald, buddy. Vlad gets a good swing in, down to 600 HP. His leadership is falling. Can anybody hit him one more time? I thought that would be enough, but Vlad jumps in, lifts his sword, and misses the Herald of Khorne, who is gonna scuttle to safety. No, he turns around, takes the fight. Well, that was really cool, actually. Turns around, hits the White King in the face once, and then runs away perfectly. No real problems there as Vlad now is fighting the Allures. Balance power comes back towards vampire counts just a little bit. They're still holding the point for now, though. There are Plague Bearers of Nurgle, making that more suspicious. Vlad is about heal capped, and Vlad really choked, missing that final hit on the Herald of Khorne that he wanted. But the Herald may be flirting too much with disaster, wants to stay in range to help out the Hellforged Host, the Bringers of Beguilement with their fight where possible. Yep, Vlad's gonna catch up to him. Vlad gets a hit on his back. Demonic instability starts crumbling for the Herald of Khorne. Big win for the vampire counts. Can they leverage that into a complete victory? Seems tough considering how far down they are, but maybe. Like I said, they still hold this point, so if they can hold this point for 5 more minutes, they will win by default. Crypt Ghouls in the distance chasing down pink horrors, nothing else around anywhere nearby. And Vlad, I still haven't seen a ton of zombie summons from him. I haven't seen a ton of Invocation to Hex, so he probably does have another Wind of Death like in the late game if he needs it to clear out a point. But for now, he's going to offer what he can. There's an Invocation Heck on the Graveguard trying to heal them up. That is a good decision as you're losing capture weight, and there's a lot of demonic infantry coming your way. So keeping that point is going to be pretty crucial. You can see Raced also realizes that the ticking timer is a big problem for him, as we have Frolickers and other Plague Bearers just marching towards this point where the Graveguard and Vlad are trying to hold. Graveguard continuing to grind with the Plague Bearers. Vlad and the White King deciding what fight to join, but they don't want to leave the point because they need their capture weight. And the Allures just chilling on the sidelines. Pink Horror is going to fire the last of their volleys out. Meanwhile, those summoned zombies are chasing the Bringers of Beguilement around the map. That's kind of funny. Vlad and the boys fight the Frolickers Bubonic. Pink Horror is actually getting more friendly fire than actually hitting the Graveguard or zombies that are left. Demons of Chaos continue to try and capture the point. A lot of capture weight here for them as these zombies die off. Graveguard are going to die very soon as well. For the vampires, that is a fake zombie, so their only real units left is a Crypt Ghoul way off in the distance, and then Vlad and a very injured White King, but the balance of power is creeping back towards the middle. Getting better for the vampire counts all the time as they somehow hold the victory location. Guess the Frolickers did back off. I guess the Plague Bearers aren't quite here yet. Acquiescence onto the White King, trying to focus him down instead of Vlad. White King does still have a lot of room left to heal if there are invocations in Heck. Well, Vlad is already heal capped, so you might as well get the damage on the White King while you can. Try and finish him off. I understand that. Pink Horror is about out of ammunition. I really don't like firing at the White King right now because you're mostly hitting Plague Bears. I mean, mostly. Still got a little bit of damage out, I suppose. Capture weight still held down by Vlad. Crypt Ghouls killed off a Pink Horror in the distance. They are going to return, but by the time they get here, this game will be decided one way or the other, I suspect. And seeing how little Vlad is using his magic, especially the zombies, you have to think that he's sitting on a Wind of Death. He still has 6 of his 7 zombie summons left. Vlad's just grinding. About 3 minutes left before the Demons of Chaos will lose on the capture point alone, though with a full health Plague Bearer sitting right there, and now Pink Horror going to join the fight. They are feeling pretty strong that they can capture it. Vlad solos? Possible. Not likely, but possible. Because there's still the Bringers of Beguilement in the distance. Yeah, these guys. They can get a lot of damage out onto Vlad. White King is gone. Vlad's still holding capture points somehow. I haven't seen a zombie summon from him in a bit. There's one. So I was wondering, is he actually just out of Winds of Magic? I don't think... You might have to ask a domination person, but I don't think summons count towards the capture weight at all. Yeah, this is the play I was waiting for. Acquiescence, and then the Alluress charges in with the Demonettes. That is a lot of melee stat debuffs, and now Vlad is getting choked out. So it was a slow approach from Race. Didn't want to overextend, didn't want to do anything stupid and just lose the game. There is the Wind of Death that Vlad was trying for, but the Karstein Ring cancels the cast as army loss is coming through. Now he's trying to recast the Wind of Death, but it is too late. Gets a little bit of damage out. So he was sitting on a Wind of Death. That's why Race was keeping his Demonettes safe until the Wind of Death came out, and Butcherbird was holding on to his Wind of Death until they committed. All right, what is the next player? Pigman. Demons of Chaos did win it in a surprisingly close game. But I think the big loser for the Vampire Counts was their dogs just getting bodied by the very Pink Horrors they fought. 139, 73, and 188. Not good values for them at all. Graveguard did more okay. Crypt Ghouls also did not do very well, considering the matchup in question. But the White Kings did fine. Vlad did fine. GG. I'm gonna invite the man of pigs, the piggest man. Pick one, ban three. Pigman doesn't respond. We'll get power in here. Big man's on his way. Get that blocker back up. Map set up. Let's do Glacier Lake. Glacier Lake, the tiniest little map there ever did was. I'm going to lower my desk to a seated position. I am tired of standing. Screw standing. Oi. Prime, you were born in 1998? Shocker. What up, Kitslahil? Kitslahil. Kits. I don't know. Grand Cathay versus Warriors of Chaos. Rolling die. Ladies and gentlemen, Warriors of Chaos versus Grand Cathay. Let's get a 5. No infantry. That would be really funny. 4 again. No magic. 4, no magic. Well, this isn't Crabstream Part 2. Crustacean Boogaloo. It is not. It is not. Warriors of Chaos and Cathay, no magic. Just ring it. That'd be very Tzeentchian. No infantry for Cathay and Warriors of Chaos. That might be a little rude. I mean, Cathay would just lose, right? All you get is Jade Lancers, Longma Riders, Peasant Horsemen. I guess you get Lions. Tzeentch is like aiming for the only less interesting ones. Rip. I finally finished the Clone Wars. Started on Rebels. Rebels' animation hurts my eyes, but the plot's okay. I'm following a Reddit guide on how to skip all the filler, though, because I'm kind of burned out on Star Wars, and I want to cancel my Disney Plus subscription, so I stopped paying all the time. So I got a Disney Plus subscription, powered through a bunch of stuff I wanted to watch, and then I'll cancel it and go back to paying for Netflix or something. Rebels is okay. Rebels is fine. Big Kolek moment? Yeah, with no caster lord, honestly. I don't know if Archaon's even the best without a casting. He might still be, but... because Slayer Kings is dope. But if you don't need to pay for a caster, why bother? Clone Wars? Yeah, Clone Wars was good. Finished that. That was nice. I'm gonna watch the rest of Rebels and then Andor, and then I'm good. Get Amazon Prime. Best show ever is Wheel of Time season 3. I thought Wheel of Time was books. I know you're gonna be like, it's both. I understand now that it's both. I just didn't know there was a TV series for it too. Interesting. Did you read the books? Or you just watched the series? What could the VC chosen in units versus demons? Bird was mentioning it, but his dogs really did very, very, very poorly for what he was hoping. So could have gotten more crypt ghouls. I guess it's not ideal. Could have gotten some skelly warriors to go very wide, like incredibly wide. Just be a nuisance. Your last list of single-player factions was bad. It's a joke. Nicholas, good joke. Many a haha was had this day. Prime also has The Boys, Invincible, and Reacher. I watched Invincible season 1. I hadn't even gotten to 2 yet, and I hear season 3's out. All right, looking back at the players, how we doing on these builds? Cathay has a couple hundred gold left. Demons of Chaos, not Demons of Chaos, Warriors of Chaos have just a couple tens of gold left. And Raced is ready. Small map, no magic. What is man to do? If you did more FFA tournaments, you pass turn in no time. Turin is... I don't know, dude. Like, his streams have popped off recently. I don't know what that's about. He went from 1.7k average to like 3k average. I have a message. What is the message? Oh, just playoffs nonsense. Just playoffs. Not reading all my news updates is also tragic. How will the masses know what's happening? I'm doing my best. Try. There's a lot of messages and in-game things and coordinating with people. So we do get Archaon, but with no spells. Versus Gotrek Starbreaker. Sorry, Gotrek Gurnison. And a Lord Magistrate for Cathay. He's bringing a cannon on this map. I find that interesting, but okay. Your current Steam name is a book, Wheel of Time character, actually. Damn, you read all 15 books. That is commitment, dude. I'm reading the Witcher books right now to take a little break from Warhammer lore. And I'm going to make a lore video on them. Even though it's not Warhammer, I have things to say about the Witcher books. I have things to say. Alrighty. Tzeentch has declared no magic for this fight on the smallest of small maps, Glacier Lake. So we have a Grand Cannon for Cathay, 4 Celestial Dragon Crossbows, one of which is Aggressive Key in. We have a Zhangdu War Drum, a Lord Magistrate with Inspired Assault and Marksmanship. Really? You're taking the melee attack one, not the melee defense one? Okay. And then the Kite of the Utmost Airs. I am supremely confused. What flying units is he worried about Mortis engineering? This is the Warriors of Chaos. They don't have any flying units. They don't have Furies. What? You what? I don't know what Pigman's cooking. Pigman's cooking too hard. We do have Gotrek. Gotrek was brought butt naked, doesn't have any of his special abilities. Then we have Jade Warrior Halberds, Celestial Dragon Guard, and Peasant Long Spears as the front line. Isn't this the cannon map? No, it's way too small. Turn Secret is Professor Pone. You must kidnap Pone and ransom him back for co-stream. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. You know, aside for the Warriors of Chaos, we have Chaos Chariots, Forsaken frontline with 1 Marauder, and then a Chosen of Khorne with dual weapons that has a lot of anti-infantry. We have a Gorby's Chariot as well, some Chaos Knights with lances, and we do have Archaon the Ever-Chosen. No spells, of course, so just Slayer of Kings on the back of Dorger. The Witcher books are a ride. That's one way of putting it, for sure. For sure. Cathay is carefully crafting their box. Carefully positioning it so that everybody is in a boxy formation. Without magic, it is significantly harder to break the front line of Grand Cathay. That is fair. No Burning Head, no Final Transmutation, no Pit of Shades. But also, without Talons of Night, without Storm of Shadows, without Ancestral Warrior Summon, it could be significantly harder for Grand Cathay to deal with the Chosen of Khorne. I think if they focus all 4 of their Jade Warrior, the Celestial Dragon Crossbows onto the Chosen of Khorne, they should be able to pincushion it down, but we'll see. This box is so teeny tiny that honestly, if those Chaos Chariots get over here and just cause disruption so that the Chosen of Khorne and Forsaken can get into the battle, they'll be just fine. Hellstriders standing ominously close, not daring to move because Grand Cathay, like the noble T-Rex, is attracted to movement. Oh, they're just going for it. Whee! Straight into Peasant Long Spears, straight into a horrible, horrible death. Down to half HP already, just fighting those Peasant Long Spears. And there they go. And the Hellstriders are down. Hellstriders are down. Grand Cannon was knocked offline for a brief moment. They need to get back online. Now the Hellstriders are not off the map. They will rally. Forsaken running face first into the Celestial Dragon crossbows. There goes the Mark of Yin from the Grace of Ki Yin, making these guys a lot easier to hit. Take a lot more damage as well. And already those Chaos Knights are down to half HP. The Forsaken are also quite damaged. Other Forsaken have lined up. Chaos Knights, the Lance is going around the back, but there's no back to get to around here, as that Chaos Knight is already gone. Chosen of Khorne still trying to get here. They haven't been pin cushioned too much just yet, though I do see a lot of lines moving towards them. It looks like some of the Celestial Dragon crossbows are more focused on the mobility elements as Chaos Knights charge straight into Peasant Long Spears. But again, Peasant Long Spears are some of the best basic spears in the entire game, so they will trade super cost effectively into the Chaos Knights. These basic Chaos Chariots don't have the mass to get through the front line. Hell, even the Gorbius Chariots are struggling with it a little bit, but some of them are getting back here and shutting down the Grace of Ki Yin. So we'll see if the Chosen of Khorne can get in here, but the Chosen of Khorne are taking a very long route to get here. They walked along the side of the map, they delayed themselves so they didn't get shot too much, I guess, and now they're trying to line up before charging, which I get that too, but it's taking them a very long time to get involved. And the Chaos Knights and the Hellstriders diving in, desynced and just kind of getting 1v1'd by those Peasant Long Spears. These Peasant Long Spears have to have insane value. 800, not as much as I honestly would have thought. The Chosen of Khorne finally get to the front line. They will kill the Jade Warrior Halberds pretty quickly, but has the game already been decided? As some of the Forsaken pass straight through, they're going to get into that back line. Marauders and other Forsaken also grinding through. Bounce power is dangerously far against Race and the Warriors of Chaos. War God is up quite a lot, 3-1 on damage value. And the Chosen of Khorne still having a hard time getting through these Jade Warrior Halberds, still taking a lot of damage. Even with some disruption, still enough Celestial Dragon crossbows to rain fire upon these guys. Boxes, strong. Boxes, OP. They did stride straight to hell, yeah. Nicholas Bueller, I like my wife. Grace is nice. We love Grace. Chosen of Khorne route away from the Grace of Ki Yin and the other Celestial Dragon crossbows. Army loss is going to hit the Warriors of Chaos, and Grand Cathay's boxy box box will not be defeated this day. How do I join this? In our Discord, there is a Tzeentch King of the Hill chat where you just say, I want to play, and I add your name to a list of players. That list is currently 3 people long, so it's not that long. Peasant Long Spears, Jade Warrior Halberds just had to hold, and then the Celestial Dragon crossbows did a lot of work. GG. That's about as fun as stepping on Legos. True. I love stepping on Legos. It's my favorite. Okay, what am I doing? So War God stays, we need fish. Okay, so then we have fish, Jack, Scarbrand is current list. So yeah, there's the list. Power's gonna join, then after that we have 3 people, Fish, Jack, and Scarbrand. Copy. Change the map. Alpine Ridge, baby. Can anyone join even if I'm terrible at multiplayer? Of course. Of course, Milky Way. Absolutely do not know you're married. Oh, don't be upset. It's fine. I'll never forgive you, but it's fine. What did they roll? They haven't rolled anything yet. We roll after we find out their factions, because if you roll beforehand, then they'll pick factions that are less affected. That is less Tzeentchian. That is less fun. So we roll after they've already locked in what they're playing. Who is now in the lead? I have not been tracking score. I think everybody's 1-1, then fallen off. I think. Notice he hasn't done any workout videos since he got married. Fact. Milky Way, can I sign up for this thing? Of course, buddy. Milky Way signed up. I will add him to the list. It's 1-1-1-1. Yeah. Everybody wants more Hazel. I'm gonna do a roll myself to decide between Skaven and High Elves. All right, we have to either Grand Cathay or Grand Cathay Skaven or Grand Cathay High Elves. High Elves it is. All right, here we go. 6 normal game. All right, 6. All right, chat, decide. 1 second, chat. Very well. Phoenix King has gotten under my skin enough. He's angered me enough. Normal or auto gen? Is a 6 normal or auto gen? Chat, decide. I gotta sign up Pizu. Autogen 88%. That's crazy. Y'all crazy. Y'all cooking. Autogen it is. 35 votes. All right. Martinius, when am I playing? I don't know. Fish, Jack, Scarbrand, Martinius. B6A6, welcome to Warp Fire Thrower. Thanks for the support, brother. Currently killing it in a tournament. But I won't say how well you're doing in that tournament because that would be spoilers. Come here for 3 reasons. Hummus, funny rat meme casting, Hazel, and shenanigans. Gotta have at least one of those. We have shenanigans, so we're good. We're good. We Gucci. All right, players are asking questions about the auto-gen stuff. All right, people ask me questions. I'm sorry, chat. I'm sorry. Autogen not giving caster to a Tzeentch army. That'd be pretty good. That would be pretty good. Anyone who says Dowie instead of Dwarves is considered a dwarf lover and therefore an enemy. Oh, I like the Dowie. Because there's an old RTK saying I like, ooey owie, should have picked Dowie. It's pretty good. Good one. Both players setting up. The map is Alpine Ridge, so artillery is not going to be very good here. They probably asked if they can reroll autogen. So we have Fish, Jack, Scarbrand, Martinius, Milky Way, and Pizu left for a list. Autogen army's ready. We're loading in. High Elves getting pretty elite infantry. The Storm Riders, the Grey, Talons Torquelada, the Keepers of the Flame. Grand Cathay getting a normal-ass army. Not a lot of frontline, I guess. There's only 5 of them, but, you know, Jade Lancers, Jade Warriors, Iron Hail Gunners, Cannons, Iron Rocket. The big thing is going to be the 2 Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers and the 3 artillery pieces of Cathay on a map with a giant frickin' hill in the middle. It's not going to be ideal for either player. For the High Elves, Storm Riders, the Grey, Lyran Reaver Archers, 2 Rangers, Rahagra's Pride, Phoenix Guard, Triple Gold Chevron. They're not the Keepers of the Flame, they're just Triple Gold Chevron. Silver Helm, Spearman, Talons Torquelada, 2 Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers, and a Tyrannok Chariot. For an Archmage of Fire, kept Burning Head and Flaming Sword of Ruin, put him on an Eagle. On the other side, for Grand Cathay, 3 Jade Lancers, 2 Grand Cannons of Fire and Rocket Battery, 3 Iron Hill Gunners, 2 Jade Warriors, 2 Jade Warriors of Halberds, and a Dragonblooded Shugen and Lord of Yang with Might of Heaven and Earth, Dragon's Breath, Jade Shield. And that is it for spells. Race to the hill with artillery go. Yeah, if you could get your artillery up. Why did OBS disconnect and reconnect? Don't do that. That was weird. I just saw a skip in time for you guys because OBS apparently disconnected for a second. Weird. I don't like it. I hate it. Grand Cathay has the most normal build, so I'm guessing they probably win this, but his positioning where he's trying to go like crazy far back and not contest the point at all. I mean, the High Elves could just take the point and then back. We'll see B tier Tyrannok suck and die. Yeah, they're better at kiting melee factions after you've taken out any range that the enemy has. Grand Cathay's not going to be like that. Yeah, with Grand Cathay just deploying like right next to the white line as far away as possible, you just gotta put some infantry right here and take the point, and then force Grand Cathay to just walk up to you. Are those peasant cav? No, all three of those are Jade Lancers. Waiting for the players to say they're ready. This is taking a long to set up. You guys have been standing here for a while. You good? All right, both players finally said ready. Anyway, yeah, as I was saying, you could just, for the High Elves, just position like right here where you're still down behind the hill, take the point and force Grand Cathay to come to you. There's no reason to walk towards them. They're pretty far away, so you can try and punish them with conquest stuff. Bolt throwers trying to poke at the Dragonblooded Shugenin Lord. Bolt throwers miss the Dragonblooded Shugenin Lord. There goes a breath attack plus cannon shots up and over the hill as best they can. Jade Lancers are here. Burning Head gonna go through, and Burning Head will not do that much damage to Jade Lancers, but I guess a little bit's fine. Yeah. And then Archers, Talons Torquilata, Storm Riders, Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers, so decent damage out from the High Elves. Actually, power did come out of that damage positive. And then we had some units spawn behind. Illyrian Reaver Archers got a couple shots off and retreated. It's not too much problem there. His Ranger is back on the point, still waiting to capture it. It hasn't even unlocked yet. They are waiting to capture it before they rout. High Elf leadership coming in clutch right now. And fire and rockets maybe going to make those Rangers rout. No, they hold for now, and they're going to capture the points. Now the High Elves can actually just leave. We see some Rangers in the woods, the Gray and other Illyrian Reaver Archers trying to kite out these Jade Lancers. Getting shots at the Lord, probably just focus on the Jade Lancers for now. And there you go, capture the point. So they can back off now because the firing rockets are getting some accidental damage onto the Spearmen. You can see they're trying to shoot the Rangers, but the downhill angle is helping out a lot versus that other stuff. The Gray getting good shots onto the Jade Lancers. Illyrian Reaver Archers in the woods and Rangers just lurk. Jade Lancers get a brief charge onto the Rangers. The fighting near the woods is going to be tough, and especially with two different range units shooting at you the whole time. So Jade Lancer is going to back off. Overall, good engagement for the High Elves over there. In the middle, the High Elves hold the point, and the Dragonblooded Shugenin Lord is just trying to dodge as best they can for now. Grand Cathay box is just sitting in the back while the High Elves have the point. It looks like Pigman for now is just trying to spam spells without engaging. We have untold magical power, the Rangers say right before taking Dragonfire to the face. Yeah. The High Elves are getting a little bit of skirmishing onto these Jade Lancers over here. That's going okay. Pigman's dodging a ton of arrows, so that's going pretty well for him. And in comes the Jade Lancers. Downhill charging. Rahagra's Pride are not around to countercharge them. Rahagra's Pride now going to get activated. This is probably a dead Jade Lancer. You have Phoenix Guard behind you, Rahagra's Pride in the front trying to block you up. And then the Dragonblooded Shugenin Lord of Yang is engaging very far on her own. Did use an overcasted breath attack just to take out some of the archers. Cathay still not moving up just yet. Firing rockets firing up and over the hill, but did lose a Jade Lancer for this. Another Jade Lancer starting their downhill charge. Meanwhile, the High Elves have isolated the Dragonblooded Shugenin Lord of Yang. The Storm Riders, still Lothern Seaguard, still have spears. They are making good use of them, the Dragonblooded Shugenin Lord of Yang. Silver Helms Keepers of the Flame? No, you're just Phoenix Guard. I keep thinking you're Keepers of the Flame. Anyway, Silverhelm's charging uphill into these Jade Lancers, getting a little bit of damage, but I think it's all a bait. Cathay is just trying to get you to go up and over the hill again so the cannons can start firing you, so the Silverhelms are going to have to back off and get back down the hill and hide from those cannons. Something is happening here. The Archmage is losing the fight against the Dragonblood Shugenin Lord overall, considering how low their HP pools were before coming over the hill. Shugenin Lord has Might of Heaven and Earth, so an extra buff. The Archmage of Fire does have to retreat, and it looks like they are starting to now. The Fire and Rocket continues to fire up and over as Silverhelms get an uphill charge into Jade Lancers, but I mean, they got the free charge, so they should be winning this, and they're just better cavalry units. Elsewhere, these other Jade Lancers are getting taken out. Both sides doing moderately similar amounts of damage while the Fire and Rocket continues to fire up and over the hill. It's running out of ammunition. The cannons still have a lot, but it itself is running out of ammo. Two different races sitting inside cardboard boxes throwing sticks and grenades at each other from distance. Nerd fight. Nerd fight. Yeah, the mages. Archmage of Fire lost out pretty heavily to the Shugenin Lord, though, with that Might of Heaven and Earth cast. Pigman's trying to just keep something that can see the enemy army, so his Fire and Rockets can fire up and over, but they only have 3 volleys left. After that, the Elves are going to be pretty safe behind the hill. And Jade Lancers are about cooked. Not a lot of Jade Lancers left. .95% of World War One. Just a World War One game. Calm down. Cathay now moving up to the point. High Elves have a third of the capture weight already. Still the Fire and Rockets firing up and over. And the cannons are going to have a tough time participating, man. They have so much ammo left, but they'd have to get all the way up onto the hill to fire down into the enemy. Fire and Rockets, maybe using their last volley here. How the hell is that cannon hitting that? Okay, all right, okay, cool. Downs Torquilata taking a little bit of damage. Still the Gray and the Bolt Throwers trying to hit that Lord where they can. And my wife is messaging me. Okay. Cool. Tyrannok Chariots ended up over the hill. I didn't notice that happening, but yeah, cannons instantly take them out. Cannons are great at killing chariots. And then Iron Hail Gunners too. Tyrannok Chariots are cooked. Another nerd fight up on the hill. Archmage of Fire trying to fight back against this lady, but she does have 75% physical resistance due to that Celestial Dragon, whatever, scales the Celestial Court. So again, the Archmage backs off. Takes a lot of damage from her own Eagle Bolt Throwers. Definitely just saw them friendly fire her. The Phoenix Guard move up. They're going to try and take this position. Iron Hail Gunners trying to reach the top so they can get a shot down, but Rangers are there to ambush them as soon as they get up and over. And that is a lot of damage. Iron Hail is going to rout, and more Rangers moving up as the Gray continue to skirmish in. Still have cannons firing down sideways into the Silverhelms. Silverhelms not having a good time on that side of the hill. So anybody who left the safety of their side of the hill did take a lot of damage. You call Bolt Throwers firing up and over, still trying to poke down the Dragonblood Shugenin Lord, but Pigman's just dodging with that consistently as he has been for a while. Tyranoks didn't suck and die, they sucked and ran away. Yeah, they did just end up out in an open field in front of 2 cannons, so that is going to happen. Jade Shield buffs up the Iron Hail Gunners. Meanwhile, the High Elves are losing the capture point. Cathay did finally move up and take care of that. There is a Flaming Sword of Ruin. There it is. Helping out these Phoenix Guard a little bit, but they lost the capture point. Towns Torquilata busy kiting out Jade Warrior Halberds. Still have 2 Bolt Throwers firing. They're running out of ammo, though. They're still trying to hit that Shugi Lord. Take her down. Cathay still has 2 cannons in the back with a lot of ammo, but we'll see how much damage they can get out. And Pigman again angles it so that these Phoenix Guard's flank is presented to the cannons. The cannons can get free shots in. And that is that. It's looking pretty tough here for the forces of the High Elves. Hogwarts probably jumping on these guys. If they use their roar, they might be able to rout those Jade Warrior Halberds, but who knows. Burning Head up and down the lines of Cathay. If it curves nicely, it can get into these Jade Warrior Halberds, but it curves the wrong way and only hits the Rangers. It did curve slightly to the left there, so it only hit the Rangers. Pretty unlucky for the High Elves, and then their Lord gets deleted by the Iron Hail Gunners, then it's probably gonna be GG. Bolt throwers showing their clear supremacy. Yeah, they're pretty bad. Bolt throwers are terrible. I put them in my artillery list on D tier, and people yelled at me. People said, nah, they're OP. And I was like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And that is GG. That's pretty lucky autogen for Grand Cathay. Yeah, it looked awfully close to a normal army. All right. For the High Elf build, they had a tough time. They played it pretty well, trying to hide behind the hills that went on. But it was tough. Cannons and fire and rockets did great. Okay. Pigman has to go. All right. Well, we'll get 2 new people in here. Just keep the list moving. Gorkezan. All right, we got 2 players joining. Eventually. Where are Fish and Jack? All right, so after this, we have 4 people left. That's probably enough for stream. So we're not taking extra signups. We have these 2 players, then 4 more total. Let's do fish. You pick 1, ban 3. What up? It's right here. Yeah. I was using it for a standing desk. Okay. I have a very high-tech setup where if I'm standing, I have to prop a pillow against the mic so it doesn't fall down. Khorne versus Chaos Dwarves. Let's roll the dice. Ah! There we go. Almost fell off the thing. 3. No large units. Khorne is probably salivating in an all-infantry game. Bolt throwers are OP. According to some people on my all-artillery tier list, yes. Khorne is salivating in most of these modes? Yeah. You want to see what kind of shenanigans a 5-roll brings? Same, but we have 4 more rolls. We'll be okay. I have a blocker up, right? Yeah, okay, so I can spectate these builds being made. Sword of Khorne eating good tonight. Let's see if the Chaos Dwarves bring enough chaff for them to murder and get the sword out. 5 with Khorne would be funny. Yeah. Khorne would be pissed at 5, actually, because they're never getting their kills for their army passive. They're just not getting it. Fish is already ready. I thought everyone had to play Tzeentch. Jack, that would be different, brother. That would hit diff. Ogres and large units. Last match, 2 rolls. Good. I've also thought about a free-for-all. But I feel like people should get their King of the Hill stuff first and then maybe end the stream in a free-for-all. We'll see. Chorf's fire resist nice to have here. That is true, actually. A lot of Khorne infantry does provide fire damage, like the Wrathmongers. Was it going to involve 2 Jade Lions for his aggressive Grand Cathay? Yeah, maybe. I was responding to a Discord message as if it was chat, so that didn't make any sense. Sorry about that, chat. Fish and Jack ever do a team for 2v2, they have to name themselves Chips and Coke. That's actually pretty good. I like that. Fish says he hoped for no infantry. Yeah. The normal ones don't have fire attacks? Scarbrand? Wow, I thought they all did, not just the ROR. That's kind of crazy. Not gonna lie. Damn. Alright, Chorfs have 0 gold. Khorne has 0 gold. When did I win a new player tournament? I don't know that you did. Did you play in one of Big JP's? Otherwise, somebody might have just been trolling you and gave you a Bone Ripper roll. The Chaos Dwarves undid their 0 gold spend. I'm ashamed. They now have 58 gold. Okay. We have a full infantry rush from Khorne. We have flying infantry, then Skull Takers, Wrathmongers, Chaos Warriors with dual weapons, 1 Marauder with dual weapons, 3 Bloodletters, and Skull Taker, versus Drazoth the Ashen, leading not that many Chaos Dwarves. Oh no, the lobby bugged! Oh, I hate that bug. There's a desync in the game exiting. Glorious, glorious. Love that. Desyncs. Okay, host a spectator. Boom. Okay, let's get rid of one of those. Get one of these. Map is Gorgazan. And we're ready. Isn't cannons a large unit? The players asked that. I said as long as the crew, it has a mounted crew, then it's fine. Not like the unmounted things, like Dreadquake or the Magma cannons. But if they have a crew, then the crew are just manning the artillery and it's fine. I don't need to have a blocker up because we know what the builds should be. This man just loaded up a different build. All right, he's working on Skull Taker again. Should be pretty fast to get into the game since both players know what their build should be. This guy's gonna grab the Immortals. So what did he have? Ashstorm and Flames of Asgore with his Graven Scepter. Okay. 2 Hell Cannons, 4 Blunderbusses, Iron Sworn, Blazing Beards. Then he had the Immortals and some Goblin Laborers. Other side, that's the build. All right, he's already ready. Oop, 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 oop. There we go. Now I can ready while watching this guy. So he doesn't sneak extra units. We're loading it again. Should not crash on loading with 2 new players. So can 3 real melee infantry hold back the tides of Khorne long enough for the ranged units to win? I don't know. Because the Goblin Laborers I don't consider real at all. They're going to rout on impact. They are so cowardly. You've always loved the look of the Chaos Dwarves. They are pretty sick. Chaos Dwarves are one of the coolest looking factions in the whole game. Look at their little blazing helmets. As I accidentally tab out. So we have 4 Chaos Dwarf Blunderbusses, 2 Hell Cannons, and then a front line of the Immortals, Infernal Ironsworn, Blazing Beards of Bosrock, and then 3 Goblin Laborers with Drazoth. He did bring Graven Scepter, then for spells, Flames of Asgore and Ashstorm. Then his Hellshard Amulet, actually. Interesting. I never see that thing. The other side, 4 Khorne. Chaos Warriors with dual weapons, Marauders with dual weapons, 3 Bloodletters, 3 Skull Reapers, a Wrathmonger, Skull Taker on foot with Bloody Onslaught and Locus of Fury. And we do have three Chaos Furies of Khorne that are going to have to do a lot of work to kill off those Hell Cannons before they get too much damage out on the approach. What niche do the Skull Reapers fill? They're pretty good at churning through large amounts of light infantry very quickly, I suppose. But in general, crazy high stats, relatively low model counts. They're not as affected by spells like Burning Head, plus their spell resistance. So spell resistance plus less models means Burning Head won't just kill them off like it does most other front lines. Because even Exalted Bloodletters are kind of weak to spells going through them. They have a bit of spell resistance, but with a high model count, they take more damage. So they're somewhat tankier, and with higher melee stats, they can also be tanky in that way. But I'll admit, they are very, very niche, because basic Bloodletters do similar to their job, but a little better because of armor piercing more consistently, and they're cheaper. And Exalted Bloodletters do their job better while being slightly more expensive, so they're just kind of pseudo-tankier. Hell Cannon's going to punish the Bloodletters on the way in. Chaos Fury's moving in a big old clump along the edge of the map. They do have to be careful. They can't just fly blindly into the Hell Cannons or they'll get ripped apart by 4 blunderbusses. So we'll see when they decide to engage. Hell Cannon's going to get a little bit of damage out. All artillery does get good damage in the early game, but once the melee starts, then they stop being effective. So we'll see if these 2 Hell Cannons can get their value out before then. Khorne's elite infantry taking some serious damage, but 1 Hell Cannon shot misses. Take that, you homing ball of fire. Does he know? Does he know what? That there's Furies behind him? Maybe. And is it a box? I don't think it's a box when you have none of your sides covered. He just has 3 units on the front line and then Goblin Laborers trying to make it take longer to get through them. Skull Reapers might engage with Goblin Laborers, but Skull Taker, no! He's in so deep! He's in so deep! Blunderbuss is getting a bunch of friendly fire onto the Infernal Ironsworn as Skull Taker might just demonic instability crumble. He pops all of his buffs to try and be winning in melee combat as the Skull Reapers are starting to get here. But we have some lagging units of Khorne. No, you guys gotta hurry up and get here as Skull Taker is about to die. Blunderbuss is getting free shots onto the Wrathmongers and Skull Reapers. And we still have Bloodletters that are AFK in the distance. The Furies are starting to move in now, but it might be a little too late for good old Skull Taker and the boys. The Furies get in, so both Hell Cannons are about to be shut down. This is a nice coordinated assault. Skull Taker is about to demonic instability crumble, minus 33 leadership. He has plenty of HP, so it is surprising he's that low on leadership as the Wrathmongers just got here, so they're going to start shutting these guys down now. Both Hell Cannons are gone. Skull Taker very low. Yes, he is going to die. And we have Bloodletters falling back, so the Bloodletters and these Chaos Warriors not being a part of the main engagement was a huge problem for Khorne. Now, they did get some vengeance, taking out both of the Hell Cannons, getting some decent shots on the blunderbusses here, but they're losing their Wrathmongers, and still half their army hasn't actually engaged yet. And why did these Bloodletters back off? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hell Cannons don't have enough of a crew to get back online, so the Hell Cannons are officially shut down. The blunderbuss is still firing into these Wrathmongers, rout them off, and that might just be GG. Losing Skull Taker, losing your Wrathmongers and Skull Reapers this early is pretty brutal. Now the Bloodletters are starting to get in, but it's too desynced. Scarbrand is in shock. I mean, Scarbrand would be. Chaos Blunderbuss is still trying to defend themselves, lining up to get shots down these Chaos Warriors. There's an Ash Storm to slow them down on the way in and make them weak to fire. There's also Bloodletters. If the Bloodletters could get in melee, they might be able to do good work, but I think they're just too far behind. Too far behind to really matter. I mean, 4,000 damage value difference is pretty huge. You can see these, oh, the blunderbusses are just ripping up the Bloodletters of Khorne. Some people did get into melee. These Bloodletters are currently eating Infernal Ironsworn, and for being an 800 gold unit, they are killing that more elite unit quite effectively, but like I said, they are just too far behind. There's GG. Not having everybody attacking at the same time was quite brutal because the blunderbusses could just change what they were shooting at and everybody focused down the same things, which was really rough. Isn't Scarbrand always mad? Nah, he's chill on Thursdays. He's vibing. Blunderbusses did very well. Not sure what values we're gonna get. I mean, the Furies did all the work there. About it. Blunderbuss is one of your favorite. They look so cool. Yeah. What am I doing now? Scarbrand. We have 3 people left after Scarbrand. Martinius, Milky Way, and Pizu. What does the Iron Sworn Regiment of Renown do? They lose their blasting charges, they lose their shields, and they get dual weapons and higher stats. So, Infernal Iron Sworn. So 10 more leadership, 10 more melee attack, less melee defense, more weapon strength. Their weapon strength is anti-infantry. Scarbrand is in. Jackerskins is staying on Chaos Dwarfs, ban Lizards, Ogres, and Dark Elves. Get the blocker back up so everybody knows the die roll. We have Chaos Dwarfs picked. Scarbrand hasn't picked anything yet. Let's go to Maltus Wastes. What will we roll when we get Scarbrand? He's going Tzeentch. Scarbrand's going Tzeentch. Tzeentch Chaos Dwarves, rolling the die. 2. What is 2? 2. Required to have 5 SEs. /SEM. Tzeentch versus Chaos Dwarf single entity throwdown. Obviously, they can have other stuff too, but they do have to include 5 things with a model count of 1. Somebody check Scarbrand. He's clearly been kidnapped by Tzeentch. All right, this is pretty funny. All right, this is pretty funny. Jackerskin just messaged me something funny. Do unit limits still count? Not for SEs or SEMs, no. Because otherwise you couldn't do it. Tzeentch is ready. Chaos Dwarves are ready. Oh god. Oh, that's funny. That's a good army. All right, he did message me. He did message me and ask if this was allowed. The man took 2 supply trains from the extended roster. We allowed it. It's a for fun King of the Hill. I won't be that much of a stickler. Supply trains, 10,000 HP. That is certainly something. Very low melee stats otherwise, and no ranged attack. Do the supply trains even do anything? They used to be just terrible. That's why when he asked, I was like, sure, you can have a supply train. All right, so we have 2 supply trains. And then we have frontline of Hobgoblin Sneaky Gits, backline of Hobgoblin Cutthroats, 3 Infernal Guard Fireglaves, 2 Infernal Castellans, and Drazowith the Ashen with just Flames of Asgore. What is this? It's craziness. On the other side for Tzeentch, their 5 single entities would be a Soul Grinder of Tzeentch, 2 Exalted Heroes, both of which have the Book of Secrets. Yes, they do, which also, I saw that he had 3 heroes loading up. I did say SE and SEM limits were loosened to allow you to get your single entities. And since he brought the Changebringer Lord, the Changeling Lord, he's still in the spirit of fun, so 3 heroes is fine. It's fine. Who cares? And the Changeling can switch into the Sisters of Twilight. Other than that, we have Forsaken and Marauders as a front line with some Chaos Furies of Tzeentch, but that is about it. So we have the Sisters of Twilight, double Exalted Hero of Tzeentch, and a Chaos Sorcerer of Metal with Final Transmutation, the Skull of Catan, and Searing Doom combo as well. When were they added? They're part of the extended campaign exclusive roster. This is going to be wild. I don't know how they'll do, because they used to be like literally 7,000 gold or something like that, and then they died instantly and didn't do any damage. So now they're only 1,000 gold. They're 1,000 gold apiece. I have no idea if they're any good yet, or if they're still just terrible. Soul Grinder of Tzeentch firing at the Infernal Guard. Not that much damage. Soul Grinder of Tzeentch is really only good at sniping single entities. The Changelings of Twilight are out as well, shooting their little arrows. Can do good damage to the supply train. The Chaos Dwarves are going to quickly take the point. Forsaken can easily cleave through all of these Hobgoblins if given enough time, though I wonder what the supply trains will do to them. Changeling changing into 3 separate entities feels like cheating. Yeah, an Eagle and 2 different Sisters of Twilight. Feels pretty cheap. 20k health for 2,000 gold ain't terrible. Yep. We'll just see how much damage they take, though, because their forms are giant. Hobgoblin Cutthroat's getting absolutely massacred on the charge by these Forsaken. They are dead so fast. Okay. The trains are still lurking in the distance, waiting for any spells to come out from Tzeentch. Final Transmutation could be a little spooky. Actually, you should probably use Final Trans on this triple Hero Hammer, because Final Trans isn't percent-based, it just does raw damage. And in come the trains, and that is sums of damage as the Hobgoblins beneath them rout. Now the train's busy just blowing steam out the side and occasionally leaking oil. And the double Exalted Heroes go hunting for that train, though those guys took a lot of damage from something, not exactly sure what. Soul Grinder's having a tough time. Something just happened to the Forsaken of Tzeentch over here. It looks like they got shot a lot or something. And yeah, here's going to be the 3-man Final Transmutation combo. It has to be. Come on, Chaos Sorcerer of Tzeentch. You got 3 infantry-sized SEs right here. As the Exalted Heroes of Tzeentch still trying to hunt down the supply train, not getting too much out of it now. Where is that Final Trans? You have the Winds of Magic by now, dude. You have to use it. You have 3 single entities right there. Sisters of Twilight taking a lot of damage from something. I don't really know what. And the Chaos Dwarves are very ahead on the Bounds of Power, though we did get a Book of Secrets, Fate of Buna bound, which is nice. And in comes the Final Transmutation Overcast. Is the Skull of Catan active? Yes, it is. So Skull of Catan super Final Transmutation combo does come out. So this is going to be a big win for Tzeentch. Tzeentch is clawing back the Balance of Power quite nicely. We can see that Overcast of Final Transmutation does over half HP from the Infernal Castellans. And then a Bolt of Change comes down the Infernal Guard Fireglaves as well. And still the Forsaken are eating good on this front line. Balance of Power is 50-50. We have Marauders fighting against Hobgoblins. Hobgoblin Sneaky Kits, all the like. And that was a monstrous final transmutation onto those 3 units. 1400 value in that one cast. Soul Grinder of Tzeentch is still firing at something. Looks like it's trying to take out one of the supply trains. As the 2 supply trains appear to have had an accident, they are now interlinked as one train is crossing the other. I'm sure that doesn't actually stop them from moving, but it certainly looks like it does. And the Sisters of Twilight are back in here. Infernal Castellans are annoying them. I would like to see the Chaos Furies and both of these flying heroes just dive down on those Castellans and get rid of them, just so the Changeling has some room to breathe. It's not constantly getting poked down. Exalted Hero of Tzeentch surrounded by Hobgoblins and still fighting the supply train. Other supply train half HP rolling through. And Scarbrand's waiting on the Winds of Magic and the cooldowns for another final transmutation. That's going to be a big spell for him, but leaving these Infernal Castellans alive at that little HP is very painful. Something has to be dedicated to kill them off. Meanwhile, we do have Infernal Guard, Infernal Guard Fireglaves in the back. Set up to do good work. Still alive, still firing. The Exalted Hero of Tzeentch still trying to fight back against these supply trains. One of the supply trains is getting lower. But it looks like Tzeentch is running out of gas. These Infernal Guard doing a lot of damage. A lot of damage for those Infernal Guard. How are the supply trains doing? 500 value. 500 value. OP. One of the Castellans finally routes. Soul Grinder finishes him off. The other Castellan might die soon. Changeling is about to get a heal as a Flames of Asgore, sneaky Flames of Asgore, tried to catch the Soul Grinder, not watching, but he couldn't quite get him. And watch this big heal come in. Watch this huge heal. Oh my god, so huge. I'm glad you have to wait 25 minutes for that to go off, because that is truly an overpowered heal otherwise. Chaos Dwarfs have the control point. Infernal Guard still doing a lot of damage to the Exalted Heroes whenever they try and approach. Sisters of Changeling Twilight might kill off the Infernal Castellan. Here is 90 HP. That's pretty good. They might be able to kill the supply trains, but for all the memes of the 5 single entities and whatnot aside, it is actually the Infernal Guard that are doing most of the work here. Infernal Guard have the damage, as they're now firing up and over this hill into the Soul Grinder, who's taking constant damage. Exalted Hero of Tzeentch back into the fight once more, poking down that supply train. And I still believe you've only cast that one final transmutation. Yes, you have. Where's your next big spell, my friend? Searing Doom down onto Infernal Guard. Pretty nice. Still have this full health one, though. It's going to be a bit of a problem. And Scarbrand is just going to dip. Trains quite disgusting. It's more the Infernal Guard that did all that damblage. Yeah, the Infernal Guard got a ton of damage out. Changeling Twilight Sisters did not get much done, unfortunately. Forsaken did okay. Let's get Martinius in here. And then I need to change the map to something more mappy. Let's do Doc Karaz. All right, pull up the blocker. Read messages from my brother. Okay, Jackerskins is sticking on Chaos Dwarves. Martinius has to pick something besides lizards, ogres, or dark elves, and then we roll the magical die. Next we have Milky Way and Pizu. He's going Warriors of Chaos. All right, let's roll his die. Warriors of Chaos, Chaos Dwarves. We've seen this before. Maybe. That is... Hey, stop falling off the desk, you stupid... That's a 5. No infantry. No large. Wait, sorry. All large. No infantry at all. You can ignore 400 model limit, but obey all unit caps otherwise. All right, so unit caps I'm referring to is he's only allowed to have one train because our tournaments operate on one train policy. And like you can still take 3 SEM? Yeah, 3 SEM, 4 SEs total. Because it's just large units. He doesn't have to be all monsters. So you can still take cavalry or monstrous infantry. Okay. All right. I had to message one of the players. I had to tell him he was being a silly goose. He acquiesced and said, yes, I am a silly goose. So otherwise, we're obeying normal rules other than you don't need a limit of normal armies have to be 400 models or greater just to encourage you not to bring something stupid, small, and degenerate. So since we're not allowing any infantry, I cut that. But otherwise, it's like, you know, you can't just take 12 Hellstriders, for example. You still have like your mark limits and all those things. But only large units. Why do I have 5 notifications on Discord? Well, not Discord. YouTube. What? What? You what? Okay, boom. Answer that message. All the other messages don't need answering right now. Hi. Contrary Codex, make that 6. More supply trains. Yeah, 6. Chat voted 6 is auto-gen. It's not normal. I just didn't I can't update the blocker mid-thing. Yeah, Thunder Barges are really strong against single entities for sure. They're a little spear chuck on the front. You got sick? Good, you work at the hospital. Yeah, I did get sick. It was a bad time being sick. Still a little sick, honestly. All right, 3 games left. We have this, then whoever wins versus Milky Way, then whoever wins that versus Pizu. And then we'll wrap up for the day. Taking down the blocker, we have Kolek Suneater and his Dragon Ogre Goon Squad versus Drazzoath the Ashen and double Cathay Destroyer. We need a 3-player FFA with nothing but supply drains. Spooky. Spooky scary. Unit counts are going to be very small. There are less than 500 total models in this whole game. We have 2 Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders, one of which is Ogre-Khan's Wolf Boys, 2 Bull Centaur Renders, 2 Cathay Destroyers, and then Drazzoath the Ashen, and of course, Jackerskins had to take him with, give me his unit card, I don't care about the Cathay Destroyers. There we go. We have Flames of Asgore and Curse of Hashut. Ashstorm as well. Well, 3 spells. A lot. On the other side, for the Warriors of Chaos, we have 2 Dragon Ogre units, 1 Skull Crusher, a Giant Kolek Suneater, a Fleshy Abundance and Stream of Corruption caster for Nurgle, and then some Hellstriders, and 1 Marauder Horsemaster for just a little teeny bit of skirmish. I honestly appreciate him taking Stream of Corruption, even though... Wait, no, you can't take infantry. I was thinking for some reason it was one where you have to take a certain amount of monsters, but no, I don't know why he took Stream of Corruption, even if there's literally no infantry. I was thinking that maybe, like, because most of your funds will be spent on the monsters, he was going to try and sneak in some cheeky goblin laborers to protect his feet, and then the Stream of Corruption clear them out. But yeah, without any infantry, there's no reason. So the Cathay Destroyers and the Bull Centaur Renders looking for a bit of a fight. We do have 2 skirmishers on the side of the Chaos Dwarves. For the Warriors of Chaos, they have 1 skirmisher, the Marauder Horsemaster, but that will get outshot by 2 Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders, so they're going to have to probably take a fight here soon. As the Giant just stands on the point, 1 glowing eye, he gets shot by these little wolf boys. And the point is being taken by the Giant. Warriors of Chaos, for now, seeming happy to just take damage from these Wolf Raiders. Ooh, yeah, the fire damage on the Wolf Raider is actually going to be huge. Whatever gets healed with the Fleshy Abundance, you can just hit him with some fire damage and it's fine. Breath attack out from the Chaos Dwarves too. Martinis is going to want to engage. Getting outshot right now. Giant or Cyclops? Yeah, at this point it's the same thing. Because is his other eye just like welded shut, or is it just not glowing? Stop turning. Stop turning. Dick. Yeah, it's like welded shut. I have no headline for this. Metal Automatons versus Warriors of Chaos. More at exactly right now. Boom. Best headline. Why are the Warriors of Chaos allowing this to take place? I don't know what their end game is. I don't know what their Avengers end game is. Just taking all this damage. It's not a ton of damage. I mean, he's dodging a lot of shots. The Chaos Dwarves, yeah, they're just going to move up and take the point. But his Giant did lose about 2,000 HP. Kolek's still dodging a lot of shots. I mean, I guess if the Chaos Dwarves just deplete all of their fire ammunition before any heals are cast, then that'd be pretty huge. Though the Cathay Destroyers and Drazzoath have fire attacks as well, so yeah, I don't think you're ever going to get a heal without healing suppression coming in. Skull Crushers finally opt in as Drazzoath and the 2 Cathay Destroyers do their work. Kolek is coming in. We are getting some Dragon Ogres and Hellstriders as well, so the fight has finally been joined. The Hellstriders are trying to sneak past the Bull Centaur Renders and get onto these Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders, get some free kills onto them, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case as the Bull Centaur Renders drag them back into a melee fight. That they, you know, the Hellstriders will lose, but with some Marauder Horsemasters and Dragon Ogres nearby, maybe they can get a win eventually. In comes the Flames of Asgore! Blob punishment in the extreme, but speaking of in the extreme, one of the Cathay Destroyers is already dead, and in comes a Fleshy Abundance Overcast to try and heal up these Skull Crushers and Dragon Ogres, who didn't lose that many Models. Yeah, they didn't lose that many models yet. Flames of Asgore spread out the damage quite nicely. Damage value is very even. Once again, Hellstriders got onto the back line trying to shut down these Wolf Boys. But in a 2v1, they're now getting rear charged by the Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders. So the Hellstriders might have a bit of an issue, but maybe they can hold on long enough. It does not look like it. They do get taken out. So those Wolf Raiders doing their jobs. Bull Centaur Renders also going out there to say hello, but that might be a bit of a problem. And the Chaos Dwarfs losing both of their Cathay Destroyers off on their own is pretty darn bad. Curse of Hashid is out onto Kolek Sun Eater trying to snipe him. There goes the other Cathay Destroyer. There goes one of the Bull Centaur Renders. So while the Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders have gotten a lot of good free picks onto various Hellstriders and such, both the Cathay Destroyers getting murked is pretty brutal. As he dies super slowly. Oof. Martinius takes the lead on the balance of power, on the damage value as well. The last Bull Centaur Render also takes huge damage. Now it's down to Drazoeth. Drazoeth's only hope is to maybe get out another Flames of Asgore, but even then, that's a pretty tall ask. For the Warriors of Chaos, their light cavalry is all depleted, but they still have Dragon Ogres, they still have Kolek, and the Giant, and of course the Nurgle Caster, and Skull Crushers. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot of stuff to ask. Multiple flammable debuffs coming down for these Skull Crushers that Drazoeth is stuck fighting. Drazoeth taking a lot of damage, no heals for him. And Hobgoblin Wolf Raider is going to dive in, trying to rear charge these guys. That is a lot of heavy cav you're attempting to fight with just little raiding Hobgoblins. It's looking like it is Ogre Kingdoms, Dragon Ogre Kingdoms. The poor Jackerskins and the Chaos Dwarfs. He's now down 3,000 damage value. And his opponent had healing, and he's down 3,000 damage value. Everybody's routing besides Drazoeth, and it looks like army losses will take him out soon. If Kolek can get one more hit in. As he T-poses with his giant hammer. There we go. He got one swing in. Drazoeth got a lot of damage value out, especially with his Flames of Asgore, but the Cathay Fireborn were not up to the Cathay Fire fight. Or those are the Cathay Destroyers, I guess. Cathay Destroyers get destroyed. Easy win. Dragon Ogres did fine. The Skull Crushers did impressively for once. Kolek himself also did quite nicely. GG's. Get him out of here. Milky Way's up. Milky Way's up, then Pizu, then we done. 2 games. Milky Way's joining. Milky Way apparently has never played in one of our events before, ever. Oh my god. I was just deleting the extra slot as you joined into that exact slot. That's my bad. That's my bad. That's my bad. All right, Milky Way's here. I gotta get the blocker back up. Martinius picks Empire, bans Dwarves, Warriors of Chaos, and Lizardmen. Swords of Chaos are elite Chaos Knights. They should be better than they are. Yes. Yes, they should. You going Skaven? All right, Skaven versus Empire. Rolling the dice. 3. No. 3. No large units at all. Only infantry. Skaven versus Empire. Oh boy. Empire's gonna need some Hawk and long rifles, otherwise the avalanche mortars clean up. Empire losing out on Empire Knights is pretty brutal. Skaven no Rat Ogres is also gonna be a bit of a chode. I'll BRB. I'm gonna grab water. Oh, this is water. Okay, I thought I emptied this. Never mind. I'll be right here. I'm here. Chilling. Yes. If it has a crew. Dippy Core became a Poison Globadier. Thank you, sir. And actually, you know what? Sure, we'll advertise. Why not? Friends, countrymen, brothers, and sisters in arms, let us go to your videos. So, if you're a Poison Globadier, you can access all this stuff early. I have videos scheduled out every day until April 24th. It is the 6th. That means approximately there are 18 videos waiting to be watched at any point in time. We have tier lists, we have single replays, we have multiplayer build guides. Mostly those 3. Yeah, mostly those 3. So, if you want to watch everything ahead of time, you can just become a member. If you don't want to do that, then you can watch everything when it comes out every single day. There is a video until I don't feel like doing videos anymore. Also, if you're not subscribed, you should do that. We've been getting a ton of subscribers recently. Audience. Come on now. Wake up. Come on, boy. Wake up. Whatever. We've been getting a lot of subscribers recently. There we go. In this last 28-day period, we got 686. We got 63 subs yesterday alone. That was pretty nice. I think it's because I put please subscribe at the front of my video. But yeah, could use more subscribers. We're doing it. We're growing a little bit. I think, what are we at? Yeah. We just crossed 14,800. Ooh, how's this video doing? Oh, pretty well. Oh, pretty well. Look at that. Look at that. Anyway, consider subscribing or whatever. Skaven are ready. Empire's not quite ready yet. The players might have been waiting on me. That might be my bad. Aren't Rogers just mostly to block other large units? True, but they can also be used to run down Huntsmen. Dreaded Huntsman. What do you have planned for my birthday tomorrow? Jacker skins! I have going to work and Dungeons and Dragons planned for your birthday, Jacker skins. I'm sorry your birthday falls on a Monday, but I'm glad your birthday falls on a great day. Your day. Phoenix King with the like the stream, because he's always looking out for me. If you aren't subscribed, Hummus doesn't hate you. He's just disappointed and will never forgive you. Yes. Dub Z. So what if you're only a campaign player, brother? Multiplayer games are just the same units you're using, but each player has a similar amount of funds and how they use them, and the units fight, and then they're sick. I don't know. I watched a ton of Turin's multiplayer stuff before I tried multiplayer. I used to just have it on the other screen when I was playing campaign. You have dogs to run those down? Not if they're all dead. Second to last game here. And Grace is waiting on me to walk the dog. I told her 2, and it's currently 1:30, so I don't know if we'll have time for a free-for-all today. We'll see. If this game and next game are both pretty quick, we can do a free-for-all. But if they're knockdown, drag-out, what the hell? Slugfest somehow turn into Slagafests. Whatever. Don't matter. So if they're short, we'll do a free-for-all. If they're long, we will not. Damn, Michael Hobson. That is commitment. Since I was streaming Warhammer 2 like 4 years ago. Four years ago. We're actually 1 month away from my 4-year anniversary of doing YouTube. Will there be more free-for-all and 2v2 content? Yeah. Yeah, biggest defiler. I got some feedback towards the end of last year that I wasn't doing enough tryhard stuff. So then in January, we had a faction war. February, we had those like top 4 tournaments where we had people qualify for top 4 slots and then compete for cash prizes. And then in March and February, we've had playoffs. So the start of 2025 has been very try-hard oriented, but yeah, we're hoping to mix in some more creative stuff. For no large units at all, everything must be infantry sized or such. We have Plague Claw catapults for the Skaven, Slip Slingers, triple Jezzails, no, 2 Jezzails, one of which is Natty Boba Sharpshooters, and the Avalanche mortars, Death Globe, ROR, mortars. Ikit Claw on foot with Warp Lightning, Howling Warp Gale, and Scorch. And then a front line of Clan Rats, Storm Vermin. Yeah. Council Guard, Storm Vermin. How many Clan Rats is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. It's one too many Clan Rats for normal tournaments, but it's a for fun King of the Hill stream, and Milky Way said this is literally their first multiplayer game. Well, maybe not multiplayer because they play quick battles and stuff, but I mean, like, you know, on our stream or part of our thing, so. Shocker. They don't have tournament rules down, but whatever. If they watch this back, they'll hear me say that. 6 Clan Rats is too many. Limit is 5. Other than that, we have 2 Assassins off in the distance, sneaking around up here. Is it 3? No, okay. They're just jittering weird. 2 Assassins. They both have all of their abilities in the Rivalhide Talisman. Loved the World Cup tournament. Oh, World Cup was really funny, yeah. I love that. On the other side, for the Empire of Martinius, we have 2 great cannons, one of which is the Hammer of the Witches. Then we have Silver Bullets, Nuln Ironsides, Free Company Militia, Spearmen, Great Swords, more Spearmen, more Great Swords, more Swordsmen, a Burning Headcaster? No, Flame Sword of... Ooh, whoa. Flame Storm and Cascading Fire Cloak on the Bright Wizard. And then a Master Engineer with just the Pigeon Bomb as an item. Okay, cannons are going to have to hurry up and take out the Avalanche Mortars. Avalanche Mortars will have a field day with all this infantry. Plague Claw catapults currently outranging the Empire range. Yeah, the cannons are moving up. So Skaven will also want to move up aggressively because their Avalanche Mortars are going to get shot by 2 cannons. They'll get shut down pretty quickly. Jezzails too. So they got to get in range of those cannons to do something. Meanwhile, the Plague Claw catapults just harassing the Empire front line. Howling Warp Gale for all the Empire's flying units. Fair. Fair and based. Cannons are in range, starting to pummel the Avalanche Mortars who are trying their best to dodge. And they dodge a lot of the shots. Good job, Avalanche Mortars. They lost 2 out of their 12 models. The Skaven are going to take the point. Warp Block Jezzails. Harassing the Bright Wizard. Ooh, that's going to be a good Flamestorm, though. Flamestorm ripping through the Council Guard. The Fire Tornado eats some of their members as they try and run away. We can see some of them highlighted in the fire. Just these little outlines of flailing Storm Vermin. The Plague Claw catapults have almost taken out a Swordsman. All the cannons continue to fire in, and the poor Avalanche Mortars are going to get pushed away. Jezzail's got to continue to move up. Not gotta by any rules, but just like, you know, for the health of your army, you got to counterfire against this stuff. Supply claw catapults continue to fire at the swordsman. Warp lightning is out onto the other swordsman. And assassins sneaking their way back here. What can they actually hope to accomplish? Skaven have the point. They seem content with that, though the Empire is also very content to outshoot one Plague Claw catapult with 2 cannons, which is why we got to get the medium-range Jezzails in there. Well, medium-long range. I wouldn't say just pure medium, but they're not as long-range as cannons and the Plague Claw catapult that are so far trading. So far, the Empire is in a pretty healthy spot. The Empire is confused what is going on as a brass orb eats up some flagellants and a nice scorch on the swordsman. Ikka Claw is murdering some state troops. Take that, state troops. Like a catapult's good hit onto the swordsman might take them out soon. Avalanche mortars are back again, but there are 4 models. The Skaven still have not moved up where their Jezzails can get some shots in. The assassins are sneaking. No concealment bombs they are seen now, but it looks like the Empire doesn't fully know they're there as the assassins jump in on the Null and Ironsides. If you believe chat, Null and Ironsides are the best unit in the entire game. So we'll see how much damage they do there. As one of the assassins is even going to go for the Master Engineer. Just no one knows this is happening. He's busy focusing on the range duels. The Master Engineer is now getting sniped out by 2 assassins, but they're in front of the Null and Ironsides. Uh-oh. They might be cooked. Null and Ironsides get attack orders on the assassins who have already done half the HP of the Master Engineer. Storm Demon is out, snipes one of the Hammer of the Witches models entirely, and the assassins are still trying to kill the Master Engineer, but they're right in front of a firing squad. They've put themselves to death, Captain! As the assassins are still chasing around the Master Engineer, Ikka Claw is still throwing out as many spells as he can, and Natty Bubo's almost killed the Bright Wizard. Plague Claw Catapult really wants that one swordsman dead. Absolutely hates that one swordsman. But the catapults are down to 2 out of 4 models from the cannons firing at them. And again, we have to get Jezzails involved in this shooting duel. It's going to be a bit of a disaster if they don't. The Silver Bullets and the Null and Ironsides chase away the assassins. The assassins got a cheeky little poke onto the Master Engineer, but they do need to get far enough away to start stalking again so they can stop getting shot at for a little bit. Ikka Claw harassing the Empire front line. It breaks my little ratty heart that the Jezzails aren't moving up into range. Now they're firing at these swordsmen that have extended up enough that Ikka can actually get shot at with them. Look at these Free Company Militia just harassing the assassins. This is a good use of the Free Company Militia. They're decent enough fighters, and the assassins have low enough armor that if they turn around and fight them, they'll take more damage than it's worth to fight the Free Company. And as long as the Free Company are chasing them, they can fire their little pistols. Skaven still trading fire. Ironsides beat dogs occasionally, worth every penny. Warp Lightning onto the Bright Wizard just as a big old middle finger to him. And then a Brass Orb on the Greatswords. Still, Martinius has taken out all of the Plague Claw catapults. The Avalanche Mortars took most of their HP. And now Jezzails are the targets of the cannons. The Skaven just have not realized how badly they're losing the firing trades with these cannons. It routs off some swordsmen. Other swordsmen getting shot by the Warplock Jezzails, but now the Skaven front line is starting to advance. The Clan Rats realizing that things aren't going exactly their way. Though, to be fair, they have the victory points. They're 1/3 of the way to victory already. If the ensuing melee fight just takes long enough, the Empire can't quite get to that center. Could be a win for the Skaven, as one of the Jezzails is also routing away. Avalanche Mortars are coming back, so the cannons will have to shoot at them soon. How are the cannons doing on ammo? Still have tons. Okay, yeah, you can't just wait for them to run out of ammo then either. Natty Bubos probably has to move up. They are stalked and they have snipes. The cannons can't actually shoot at them. And the Skaven's still just holding on the point. They refuse to take a fight. Ikit chased away by the Silver Bullets, who are also stalked, and Null and Ironsides, who are not stalked, but just scary. Ikit's gonna scuttle. Scuttle away. Warp Lightning was cast? Yes, little circle just went away. A little poke on the Silver Bullets as he runs. Natty Bubos again shooting at the almost dead swordsman. Not a great use of their ammunition, unfortunately. They have a lot better targets to be shooting at, and the assassins are still skulking on the sides. But for Martinius, I mean, we have half the capture point values taken already, and hasn't even moved up towards the point, which I'm concerned about. Something else was getting cast back there. It is a Storm Demon that goes straight through 2 infantry units, gets a little bit of poke out, and then falls back. And that same swordsman, they have got to shatter and just get off this map. They have been routed so many times. That swordsman back there is also routed twice. So we have some almost shattered swordsmen. The Empire cannons once again pincushion the poor avalanche mortars. 2 models left, and they shatter off. They're gone forever. Plague Cloud Catapult has no models left, so it's also gone forever. Gisele's 7 models left. They're coming back, and Natty Boobos are around. They can probably shoot at these Null Ironsides. Once again, the assassins get spotted and need to retreat. They're backing off, getting shot up by the silver bullets all the way, though. Is a bit of a problem. It's a nice Scorch goes up the Null Ironside. 60 armor might save them. Low model count might save them. Also dodging. Dodging saves them. Yeah, dodging will do that. And the Skaven, what are we at? 60. We're about 4 minutes away from a Skaven win, unless the Empire can take the point. Another Warp Lightning out onto the Flagellants. Martinius is now 2-1 lead in damage value, but has not yet taken the point, so who cares? Natty Boobos are busy shooting at the Swordsman. Null Ironside's running up here. I mean, if you kill all the melee units, then you could just walk Clan Rats after the Null Ironsides for the rest of the game. Now the Clan Rats are starting to advance. Now that the Empire's coming out to play a little bit. Cannons focus on Nicket Claw, and yeah, the cannons plus the Null Ironsides, a lot of damage onto infantry-sized characters. Surprise, shattering might not exist. Might as well not exist, it's so hard to trigger. It is very, very hard to get something to shatter. It's true. Ikit is dying as our Clan Rats engage the unbreakable Flagellants with an impressive 26 melee defense and 0 armor. They're going to take a lot of damage from those Clan Rats. Natty Boobo's sharpshooters shooting at the Null Ironsides, getting some decent damage out there. Assassins lurking around in the hills, wonder what they'll go and do. Skaven pretty far behind in the balance of power, very far behind in the damage value, but maybe they can hold for 3 more minutes and win off points. Maybe. When the Empire just overpower its Clan Rats with the Flamestorm and the gun line? Probably, as a Flamestorm rips through the Clan Rats just as we talk about it. And a Pigeon Plucker bomb thing? Whatever, the Master Engineer's thing. It's currently coming down. Big damage onto those Clan Rats, and Skaven Slave's gonna rout them, force them back. Ikit Claw is still getting shot by those cannons, and Skaven Slave Slingers do need to move up, get into range. Another Warp Lightning did a lot of damage on the silver bullets. Meanwhile, the assassins are running in, but everybody is turning to face them. Assassins running through the thick of it. Getting shot in the face. Other ones also holding for now. It looks like they will actually get into melee, which is pretty fine. Army loss is going to take the Skaven, however, and the Empire was closing in on that point to go capture it, so it is going to be a GG. Game in review would just be move those Giselles up a lot earlier because you were trading 1 Plague Cloud Catapult with 2 cannons for most of the game, and the cannons were going to win that. So if we get the Giselles involved, then you have 2 Giselles and 1 Catapult versus 2 cannons because you way outrange his Free Company Militia and Null Ironsides with your Giselles. So, could have been a thing. Sigmar's Sons get Cascading Fire Cloak for more melee defense and armor piercing. We have 100 tickets left before the Skaven win, and the Storm Vermin Halberds are actually providing a decent amount of capture weight. 500, and the Empire is just pouring units onto the point. The grenade launcher shot does a lot of damage to the Storm Vermin. 25 models left on them. The Empire is going to capture the point, and that will be a GG. Bye, Michael Hobson. Skaven lost the point. It is official. We'll have Martinius versus Pizu. Pizazu. Natty Booba sharpshooters paid for themselves. Basic Giselles had troubles. The Avalanche Mortars also got murdered. Plague Claw Catapults, unfortunately, did not do great. Then the Clan Rats were just there to hold for a long time as the Assassins did some sneaky stuff, and Ikit got a lot of value. The other side, Master Engineer didn't have to do much. Honestly, the Brightstorm Caster didn't get that much done either. Dun dun dun. Silver Bullets, Null Ironsides did great. Cannons did fantastically well. GG. Milky Way, I'm kicking you just so our other player can join, not because I am mad at you, though I might be mad at you. You don't know. No one knows. Final game of the day. Martinius. Same pick. Or diff. It's up to him. I will switch the map for the final time to River Amexon. There's your blocker for the final time. We are on our last match, our last dice roll. I liked your little assassin sneak. That was pretty funny. I like how they sprinted straight through the Null Ironsides, got onto the enemy lord, and just started beating him up. Martinius didn't even notice that was happening, but then his units had fire at will on, so the fact that you ended up in front of handgun units, they were just like, well, I guess we'll shoot then. All right, Martinius goes Tzeentch to end out the stream. Ban Lizardmen, Empire, and Dwarves. Tzeentch versus who? And what? The dice is ready to roll. I'm shaking it in my fist, but I'm waiting for Pizu to pick. Kislev versus Tzeentch, and the dice says 2. What's 2? Required 5 single entities. We had one game, no giant monsters. We've had the 5 single entities before. We've had no large units at all, because we had an all infantry, vampire counts, demons of chaos. We've had no magic. We've had no infantry. And then we had an autogen. So we've rolled everything at least once today. All right. Pizu's bringing the best build I've ever seen in my entire life. Martinius is gonna be like, what the shit? That's pretty funny. Next time we have the dice roll on stream? Never. Never. You couldn't see my constant cheating. Okay, Kislev's setting up their build. Martinius has their build. It looks pretty silly. Yes. Yeah, that's fine. Fine. I like the Kislev build. It's still being worked on, but what's there, I'm here for it. All right, who has messaged me while I've been streaming? Kislev looks ready.
Get premium Jackson.
Sorry, I got yelled at. Shut up, Venmo. Don't tell me how to live my life. Pizu's figuring out the rest of his build for the final game of the final day of the final month of the final year. We've reached it. The end of time. Time is not a wheel, time is not cyclical, time is not a plane, it is a line. It is a straight line with a defined beginning and a defined end. That beginning was in 1973, and that end point is in 2025. Let's do it. Pizu with the 4 snow leopards of Kislev. I allowed it because I thought it was funny. If you don't like it, okay. It's the last game of the stream. It's whatever. Fine. 4 snow leopards versus Tzeentch. For Tzeentch, we have an Exalted Flamer, a Soul Grinder of Tzeentch, an Exalted Hero of Tzeentch, a Chaos Sorcerer of Tzeentch, Chaos Lord of Tzeentch. A lot of Tzeentch in there. Bold of the Tzeentch player to not take any Slaanesh units. Slaanesh is all the rage right now. I hear Anticity loves Slaanesh. Anticity's a big Slaanesh fan right now. Is there a pattern to time? Perhaps wheel shape? No, it's a straight line from 1970. I'm going to go with 1971 to 2027. For the Kislev build, we have 4 snow leopards. Leopards of the snow. Then we have an Ice Worm Lord with just Blizzard for a spell, and a 5th Snow Leopard summon. The other side, not other side, same side. Exact same team. Kislevite Warriors, Kossars with Spears, Armored Kossars, and 2 Ice Guard with Glaives mixed in there that keep getting moved around. They are there. We have 1 Streltsy. No blue Scribes. On the other side for Tzeentch, we have a Chariot Exalted Hero. We have an Exalted Flamer of Tzeentch, 1 Chaos Knight, a Chosen, and 2 Chaos Warriors for a front line, a 2nd Chaos Knight, Metalcaster, Plague of Rust and Searing Doom, Chaos Lord of Tzeentch on a horse, and a Soul Grinder. I was told time is like a river. If the river goes from 1978 to 2021, then yeah. Then yeah, bruh. Then you're correct, fam. I think the Kislev build is much wider and much more competitive and much better because I probably allowed him to take 4 of the cheapest single entities in the entire freaking game. But I accept not the consequences for my actions. I just accept that we get 4 leopards. And that's all I need. So I think Kislev build will probably win, but also leopards. I'm ready whenever. I'm ready to cast this game with intense micro. We're off to the races. Leopards, march! Go, leopards, go. Leopard Inferno, go. Leopards, go. Go, leopards, leopards, go. Go to the leopard, go, leopard, go. Look at them running. Look at these beautiful leopards. Tzeentch just now realizes that there are 4 mighty snow leopards charging straight at them. Soul Grinder of Tzeentch gets a little bit of damage out, but who gives a crap about that as the snow leopards get in there. Chaos Warriors trying to block to the front line as the snow leopards dive straight in. Oh my god! Oh, those snow leopards are in. 5th snow leopard comes out along with the Frostworm. We're gonna get a blizzard. We're gonna get a blizzard right here. I don't know if she has enough Winds of Magic for it yet, though. Oh, that's Trixie. The 5th Snow Leopard peels off entirely and goes for a different target. Now that is tactics. And another Snow Leopard goes off to the sides for a big flank, as we have 3 Snow Leopards right in the middle of nonsense. But there goes a Blizzard as all of the archers are starting to get in range. Should be a pretty big Blizzard. Yeah, that should be pretty good. Frostbite slowing them down. Nice big Vortex. But already the Snow Leopards are getting bodied by the Chaos Lord. Oh, no. 2 of the natural snow leopards are already routing, and the summoned snow leopards not really having a good time either, as the Chaos Knights are getting involved. Basic Chaos Warriors did take a good amount of damage. The Exalted Flamer is getting shot by Ice Guard right now. Pretty bad for him, as the Chaos Knights close ranks around the Exalted Flamer and try and protect it from the damage it's taking. Ice Witch still running around. Snow Leopard's now in a great situation, 2v1ing the Chaos Lord of Tzeentch, who is standing in Kislevite Warrior, so he is getting cleaved as an Exalted Hero rejoins the fight, gets a big chunk out onto the Snow Leopards, but still that Chaos Lord is having a bad time. The other Snow Leopards, the one that weren't that badly damaged, get to fight Chaos Knights and do well. As a Searing Doom comes through for the Kislevite Warriors. Gigantic damage onto them for such a cheap spell. They already get By Our Blood popped. Exalted Flamer, very, very low on HP and leadership. It's using its breath attacks onto the Kislevite Warriors for now, getting decent damage out. But Tzeentch surrenders to the 5 Leopard spam. Realizing he couldn't kite all those leopards, he just backed out. Fair. Fair. Snow leopards, billions of value. Billions. Leopard should be tier 5. Yeah. All right, we gotta go. We gotta go. Tequila Sunset has a stream. I'm gonna link it so that you guys get added there, but I have to go walk the puppy with Miss Rat, so we're gonna go deal with that. Goodbye, everyone. Hopefully you had some fun. I'm streaming this week. I should be streaming Wednesday and Saturday for sure. Anything in between there, not so sure, but we have a new player tournament for Big JP next Saturday. Wednesday, I don't have anything scheduled yet, but I will stream that day something. Goodbye. Goodbye.